Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and happy almost Wednesday if you're in Australia.
That's right. Good day, mates.
Hey, it is the 52nd Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. It is day number 4. That makes it Tuesday, day 2 of competition, session number 6 of 14.
Yes. Well, it's shaping up to be a good day again today, I believe. Once again the sun comes up, the weather's going to change a lot between now and then, and we should be going out to a pilot's briefing in a bit. But yes, yesterday was fun with the competition. You had some great throws, and what I noticed was talking to some of the longtime competitors, there were a lot of rookies out there that did a good job yesterday.
And a lot of those veterans were like way off the pace, and we saw them way out there and not here. This is Ted Maes. I'm Lloyd Jr. Thanks for joining us here at Balloon Fiesta Live as we bring you everything that happens live, commercial-free. And thanks for joining us on our YouTube chat, our Facebook chat. We'd love to interact with you as well. So it is another day of competition and a mini Maes Ascension, if you will.
Yes.
With about half of our pilots scheduled to launch right from the field, just like a Maes Ascension. And then the other half will leave the field, go find a launch site somewhere about a mile or so, at least a mile away, and they will then fly into the field, or attempt to fly into the field, we should say, and drop a marker on our target, which we anticipate to be the boat or the Sid Cutter Memorial Task today.
Which I believe is one of your favorite competitions,
I
correct?
love that one.
Yeah.
I love that one. And I think what it is because most competitions have this 25-foot X out there, and you throw it in the X or you throw it in a triangle like yesterday's Gordon Bennett Memorial. But with the boat, now you've got the bow of the boat. So you've got this one little point that is the perfect score, and if you fall off, if you miss that by an inch, you're in the water, and it's like being 300 feet away.
Right. It's just that extra element that gets put into that competition. It's not like throwing to an X, as you said,
Yeah.
or throwing to a judge-declared goal. It makes it extremely difficult. So, just think about this. It would be like driving your vehicle, right, from your home, and then as you're driving down the street, tossing out a marker and just landing it on the front of a boat as you're driving down the freeway. And it's pretty incredible that what these pilots are able to do, especially not just the veterans, but some of these rookies and the local pilots from Albuquerque are very astute as to how the winds work here and
how they change.
Yes, how they change quite frequently. I remember as a competitor, I would sit there and you'd watch everybody leave, and they'd all go to a spot, and you're thinking to yourself, well, why are you going and doing that? Because in 10 minutes it's going to change again. So it's a fun thing to do. It's an exhilarating morning, and we're starting to see dawn patrol start, which is another great sign for today.
The other part of that going out there is you get into the chase the launch site mode. I'm here, and I put up a pie ball, and I say, oh, not quite right. I want to go a half a mile that way. And you get there, and you put another one up, and you say, no, I think I want to be halfway back to where the first one is. And I kind of call that chasing a launch site.
Right.
And you end up spending all your time trying to find a launch site, and then the next thing you know, you never get in the air, and you never get here anyway.
Right. Well, or like our cameraman pilot yesterday, Pat Irwin.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching him, and he was trying really hard, but he never even made it, I think, within a mile of the field.
I actually never saw him from the field.
But you know what, Pat? Thanks for the shots. They were fantastic. You were far enough away. You could give a great perspective of what a lot of pilots had to deal with yesterday and never made it in.
And he'll have another chance to fly our camera during competition towards the end of the week. Today our camera's going up with Nick Abrams again. Nick took it up for us on Sunday. So we'll be flying from the field away this morning with our balloon camera.
Well, as we can see right now, the yellow flag is up, but we're about ready to have weather briefing here with the pilots in a few minutes. They have to get through their normal morning rituals. Henry Rosenbaum, the balloon meister, and his crew is out there communicating to the pilots and the crews as to what happened yesterday and what the expectations are for today. So I know when the weather comes out, we will head over there to the pilots briefing, and I'm sure we'll see that flag color change.
And that is, they get all the way through the briefing. Yellow doesn't mean we're on hold or anything. It's just the decision to fly or not fly has not been announced yet. Red obviously means we've canceled everything. We hope we never see that flag.
The only red thing I see on the screen right now is Craig Kennedy and the Chick-fil-A balloon, and I don't mind seeing that flying in the sky.
No, we like seeing that one fly. Yeah. Oh, and even the red laser on it.
Yes. If you're not from Albuquerque, if you kind of look to the left of Craig's balloon there, you see some steam rising, and that's been there for years here in Albuquerque.
It's a drywall plant.
It is a drywall plant, and it's just like a mini pie ball that works all the time until the sun rises and it gets a little bit more difficult to see. But some of the best days ever of flying is when that smokestack is straight up. So you can see the wind right now is doing the typical drainage in Albuquerque. It's flowing from the north to the south. So that stack is laying down a bit.
Confirmed by the flags. It's a little farther over. Those are obviously on the field.
Right. The nice part about that is you can basically you can basically see that stack from just about any part of Albuquerque.
Yeah. You know, I asked Sid Cutter one time, what is it about Albuquerque that makes it so attractive to ballooning? And his answer was, you know, we're a big valley. And so no matter where you're flying in the valley or where you live in the valley, the balloons are always up in the sky. So many places where it's kind of flat in their trees, you see the balloon if it's very close, but if it gets very far away, you lose it just because of the terrain, the flatness, and those types of things. But being able to be in the foothills, so a little high on the east side or back up on the west side, you can see the whole valley. And even when you're in the valley, you can see up the sides. So,
and I'm sure right now from the west side of New Mexico, there's some people out in Rio Rancho. If your backyard is facing east, you probably can even see these balloons inflating right now on Fiesta Field.
You can.
Yeah.
I have friends that live in Placitas that we can see the field from there, so we can. It's not the best view, but you can see it.
You'll see the activities that are starting or going on.
Yeah.
And I can attest to that tree thing. After moving to Pennsylvania, chasing balloons in that part of the country, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. So our Dawn Patrol is now upright. On the weekends and on Wednesday, so all of our Maes Ascension days, we actually do the Dawn Patrol show, and then we just call this Dawn Patrol on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, but they pretty much do the show as well. So, well, that's who's out there doing that.
Yes. That mystery balloon from yesterday on the, I guess the far, left side to us.
When they light up, we'll know where he is.
Yeah, he's on the far left to us. So that's Ron Thornton from Littleton.
Oh, yeah, our far left. Far west side of the field.
He's in his 28th year here at Fiesta.
And we talked to him on the air the other morning.
Yes.
He was one of the first to put hanging lights off the side of the balloon and fly Dawn Patrol.
And that is something that is actually required of all aircraft when they're flying at night. I know that in the past I would do festivals and whatnot for my children when they were younger at their schools, and we would do tethers. And Elizabeth Wright Smith, who trained me well, said, hey, if you're going to do it at night, you better make sure you have aircraft lights, and I have a set for you. So for sure one day I was out there and we were doing a fall festival up here, and my son said, hey, some guy's walking over to the basket. And this gentleman walked up and he laid his credentials on the side of the basket, and it was an FAA guy.
Yeah?
He says, where are your aircraft lights? And I said, sir, they're right here. Turn them on. Turned them on. He said, have a nice night.
There you go.
So
there you go. Yeah, we are VFR, Visual Flight Rules aircraft, which means we can fly from sun up to sun down, sunrise to sunset technically. And if you were in the air outside of those, then you have to have lights and a number of other requirements as well. But from the aircraft side. And you'd think when we light up the balloon, we're so visible, why would we need marker lights? The problem is we're not burning all the time.
Right, you're not.
Yeah.
And there's a great
and there you see, it went from dark to all the lights. That's great. If we were to stay that way, and you can't do that while you're flying all the time, you can just keep climbing and climbing and climbing, and
and you'd get in some airspace you wouldn't want to be in.
Not only not want to be in, but you can't
not allowed to be in.
Not legally be in.
Correct.
Yes,
correct.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and even tether rides. In fact, we've had a conversation over the last few years making people understand that anytime you stand that envelope up, it's technically ready for flight and needs to be
flight ready. Yeah.
Yes. That is exactly what needs to happen. So, like, you got checked for the lights. These guys would all get checked for the lights, as well as is the balloon in its annual inspection. Is the registration current? do you have the airworthiness certificate? I always, when I got started flying balloons and realized that one of the documents you have to have visible in the basket is the airworthiness certificate. And that's not just for balloons, it's for all aircraft.
All aircraft. So if you're flying here, if you haven't made it to Albuquerque yet, and you're going to come in later this week or for the weekend when you get on your commercial airliner, it's usually in a placard as you walk through the main door up to the left over the top of you, and you can actually get a lot of information off of there. And I've actually taken pictures, and then you enter that information on FlightAware.
Yeah, just
and
grab,
it
grab
will
the N number.
It will take you take that N number, and it'll tell you everything about that aircraft, when it was purchased, who it's owned by, how many hours it has on it, so on and so forth. Just like we have to have for a hot air balloon.
Yeah. So the next time you step on a commercial airliner, once you step inside that door, take a look to the left. I've also seen it right over the door.
Right over your left shoulder.
Yeah. Just take a look there, and you'll see this little document.
And
here.
Legally, it has to be displayed.
It has to be displayed, visible to passengers. So that's where it's going to be. Of course, on those big planes, that little certificate, which is only like, about 4 by 6?
Right.
Yeah. So there goes Ron now. Off the west side.
And there goes his aircraft lights right off the side of it.
Yep.
And he'll wait till he clears a little bit because there are going to be, I believe, 3 of them on there.
Usually a solid and another one that is blinking. We were remembering one this morning before the show, one morning when one of the balloons took off and the lights weren't secured.
Yes.
So as they lowered them over the side, they just kept going to the ground. And now he's flying without lights.
Which is illegal.
Illegal. So to the pilot's credit, he kind of cleared the crowd and found a spot and immediately put it down. And so not really declaring an emergency, but knowing that he cannot continue that flight. And so I hate to use aborted the flight. He just landed quickly.
Right. Which, again, in the dark is not the easiest thing to do.
No, because you can't see the ground. I mean, we're looking out there. We can't tell, even with our camera, it's hard to tell what's on the ground there.
And from the weather we received earlier from the weather team, it looks exactly as to what they said. But again, this is going to change again once the sun comes up, and he's headed right over us.
Right over us.
On the rooftop studios.
What a great shot our camera gets, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Then one of the helicopters flying around, one of the news helicopters.
And he's over us right now.
Yep. And with sunrise being still almost an hour, a little less than an hour away, he's got to fly for, it'll get light before sunrise, but he's basically got to fly for that hour to find a landing site.
Well, probably about 15 or 20 minutes, and I bet you we look up and he's going to be back over the field staring at us.
Well, that's kind of what we're expecting, isn't it?
Yep.
So next up is Chuck Schick in Too Good Looking. And same deal, marker lights now hanging below. And there's even
secured.
And secured, yeah. And there's even there's a scheme to the color of the marker lights.
There is.
And the idea, you've seen them on the planes with the red and green over on the wings, and then they're the view from behind a plane is a white light. And so balloons hold the white because no matter which way, if you see the light, you're coming at the balloon.
We can't turn around like a jet can.
Yeah, we can't turn around, so no matter which way, if you see the white, you're coming in on the balloon. And so that's the reason for the white light.
And this is something you learn when you become a pilot, whether it's for, lighter than air or fixed wing. I'll be driving around with my family, and when they were younger, and I would tell the boys, hey, look at that plane going away from us. And they'd say, well, how do you know?
Yeah.
Well,
because the lights are on.
The white lights.
The white lights, yeah. Or it's moving left to right because you see and I always get them backwards, which light is which. Left to right, you're going to see green or red, and right to left, you're going to see the other one.
Correct.
Yeah. So the rest of them all kind of took off together there. We mentioned Chuck, right in the middle, Greg Lindsay and his Floating Oasis.
And Matt Grote.
In Jester's Unwind. Those three are together, and off on the other side, we've got the other folks, Craig Kennedy, and actually one of his other pilots, I think, is actually flying that today. Yep. All just coming right at us. And there goes Tim Taylor with the red, white, and blue, and the white stars as Dawn Patrol is now airborne. We are up to weather at pilot's briefing. So let's pick it up.
Morning goes on, and we're looking at great flying conditions today. So we still have that area of high pressure dominating across the west, but we notice this area of low pressure across California into southern Arizona. That's gonna. We're working on it. Henry's working on it. Hey, all right. So we've got a big area of high pressure across the west, but we've got an area of low pressure. Let's go back to today. We've got an area of low pressure across California into portions of Arizona. That's going to feed some moisture into the region. So, oops, and I just closed it. But I was going to show you the satellite imagery. It's just feeding some mid-level moisture into the region. So what we could see is some virga showers developing mainly across the northern portions of New Mexico later on today. And that could result in some gusty winds. But beyond that, I think everything here in the Albuquerque region here should remain dry. We're still seeing dew point depression, so the temperature between the spread between the temperature and the dew point of 40 to 50 degrees later today. So that moisture is unlikely to reach the surface. The latest observations across the region are as follows. At Albuquerque Sunport, they are reporting a wind 100 at 5 knots. Temperature of 60 degrees, dew point of 26, relative humidity 27%, and the barometric pressure there was on the rise at 30.20 inches of mercury, sky condition of clear. At Albuquerque Double Eagle, temperature was 46 degrees out west, dew point of 19, relative humidity 34%. Barometric pressure is steady at 30.23 inches of mercury, sky condition clear, and their wind was calm. So what I'm expecting here, you notice here at Albuquerque Fiesta Field, we're running a temperature right near 50 degrees, and with that, the winds are right around 5 to 7. Like I said, we've just seen a recent uptick, but it's generally been in that 2 to 4 range through the early morning hours here. It's been pretty light. Looking on the regional scale, you can see that we've got the drainage kicking in from Santa Fe, the temperature up there 47, dew point temperature at Sunport of 60 degrees, so you got quite a spread there. You also got a pressure difference feeding into the valley here, and that's why we're seeing this a little bit of acceleration. But it should drop off nicely, I think, through the morning hours. So here's that recent uptick you can see in the drainage, and I expect that to peak probably in the next hour or so, and then that will actually slow down. What I really want to emphasize, though, is the top part of the box. So the box is more of a standard box this morning in the fact that you'll get into it, and you already see them getting into it, at around 500 to 700 feet. And once it does so, the top part of the box is pretty zippy today. So it's going to take you back to the north, and it's going to be near 15 knots or so, 15 to 20. And that will gradually moderate with time, but the point is that it's going to be up there, and it's going to get you north pretty quick. Like I mentioned, the drainage is kicking in, and I think it's going to stick around through the morning hours this morning, and that's what they've got in the TAF. So at the TAF at Albuquerque Sunport, they have wind what do they have? Let's hear. Sunport, they have 010 at 5 knots, visibility greater than 6 miles, sky condition clear. And then at noon today, they have it switching around out of the south, 200 at 5 knots, visibility unrestricted, and few 25,000. That's that moisture streaming in from the west. And similar conditions over at Double Eagle. They have the forecast for variable winds at 3 knots, visibility unrestricted, sky condition clear. And then at 1 o'clock this afternoon, wind switching out of the south, 180 at 6, visibility unrestricted, and that few 25,000. So it should be a great morning, honestly. Like I mentioned, that near surface layer has sped up, but I think that's going to be a temporary issue. It really looks like a great box morning and a great morning for competition. I have lots of weather helpers here this morning. So I have Peyton Cusick, Sammy Garver, Charlie Garver, and Rylan Gates helping with the Pieball launch this morning. Are there any launch directors in the area to give them permission to launch?
So we heard Brad Tiemeyer tell the pilots to expect a box up there. As you said, we were expecting it. It's up there. The Dawn Patrol, not directly back over us, but at least up back even with us and just a little bit farther west. So it looks like it rolls just a little bit off to the west.
Right, right. And which is not bad for a lot of pilots because, again, that gets them out to the promised land of Rio Rancho and some wide open spaces out there and a little bit more comfort to land. You know, those weather models that we started receiving way early in the morning,
right?
You know, it's a science, right?
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that when I would speak to children at school, you want to become a pilot, do good in school. You got to be able to read and write the English language. You got to be able to do good math, and science just plays into it. So those models that they've been providing us set up right for what Brad just spoke about.
Probably worth taking a moment to kind of interpret some of the numbers because he would just throw out these numbers. So like it was 100 at 14 at 23 or whatever the numbers were. And so basically what he's talking about, that first number is the direction the wind is coming from. So if the wind is coming from 100, that's almost directly from the east, east being 90. So basically out of the east, that's the direction. The next number is going to be the speed. And then if there's a third number, that's going to be the altitude level at what they're talking about. So, and that's always abbreviated. We basically drop the last two numbers, so it's always in hundreds.
Right. So when you see that, when you see the elevation and you see the changes starting from, like, let's say we're coming out of 10, right, which is nearly north.
Nearly north.
And then as it starts to climb and you get up to 2,000 feet, and now it's coming out of like 180, which is almost directly south, you're going to start coming back the other direction. So that's really how we start to see those models build. And I've seen models where it's every direction, but then that's where you come in light and variable, and that's where it becomes, as a pilot, very challenging. And sometimes people say, oh, don't you like it when it's really light and variable? No, because you can't get anywhere sometimes.
If you're off on a fun flight, it's perfect because you just go and you kind of float. And they're talking about light and variable, you know, direction, maybe up to 3 knots at Double Eagle, which is over on the west side of town. So if you get that 100-degree wind, you can get out to the west. You can land in light and variable winds. But as they said, a little bit breezy right here that's going to go away. It's that drainage wind.
But to your point, when you're playing with the 500 of your favorite friends, your best friends.
Now I want something to happen.
To get me out of here, yes.
I want some definite directions. I want to be able to put my balloon at an altitude and go somewhere and find a landing
When
site.
I spoke with Judy Nakamura the other day and she took the governor up,
yes,
she said, wow, I got 19 knots going over the river. And I was like, well, what's wrong with that? And she said, absolutely nothing, because they got me out there to some open spaces. So
on a totally different day when you're out there by yourself, then yeah, get it down to 3 and go float along the river. But you're right, when we got all these other folks out here, it's time to get up, get out, find a nice big spot. And then, you know, the other thing, you get out there, you could do a landing and change out some passengers and do another hop, fly some other crew members.
Well, that's another thing. You know, people all year long that go out with you to help you, insist you fly the cruise, and they're the essential part of being a balloonist. This is the time to reward a lot of them for these private pilots that come out, because, you know, there's nothing like flying off the Fiesta field, or even flying on the west side once you've done a couple hops. It's pretty amazing when you're flying with a couple hundred balloons at a time.
Great fun. And, of course, this is also the time when all of your long-lost relatives show up.
I was about to say, I actually got a text yesterday from somebody that said, hey, it's my son's birthday. Do you think there's a chance? And I said, no. You got to be honest with them.
We would tell our friends and stuff, if you really want to come out and have fun and, I mean, really want to have a ride and be able to spend time with us and that kind of stuff, Fiesta's not the time to come.
No.
It's great to come see and all that other stuff, but I'm going to be busy with all the things that I have to do, and so we can spend more time with you if you come, and we can go really schedule a balloon flight that way. But if you don't know somebody and you just want to come to balloons, yeah, then get out here during Balloon Fiesta and witness this and see it. Just reset the expectations, I guess, is the idea for your family.
And if you really want to ride, it's real simple. You just contact Rainbow Riders right prior to the event, and these things sell out quick. So, you know, it's something if you really want to do and check it off your bucket list, make sure you give yourself plenty of time to make that wish come true.
You can always check with them, because sometimes they have some cancellations. And
they do have a waiting list. They do have waiting lists.
So you can always check with them as well. And they're running 38, I believe, balloons. So they're flying hundreds of people every day, getting things checked off their bucket list. Very nice little celebration of life for Scott Appleman yesterday afternoon. Very well attended. overfilled the Sid Cutter Pilots Pavilion.
I heard.
And some great stories, and just good to kind of be with family and remember Scott Appleman, founder of Rainbow Riders, and has expanded that operation into the four corners of Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, and Colorado, as well as being instrumental in the balloon community. Just a tremendous loss to the community. He passed away unexpectedly in August. He was putting balloon rallies on. The really good news about this is that entire Rainbow Riders organization and its companion organization, Hot Apple Productions. Scott was that very smart businessman that he didn't try and do it all himself. He put good people in place to make all of that happen, and they are continuing to expand and hold the high standards that Scott put out there. And of course they say, we're doing it for Scott. That's what he would have wanted.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and being the visionary that he was, that's the way to really maintain and manage a business is get the right people in place and get out of the way. That's I've always been successful in my business life like that. So Scotty was a very successful individual, and I believe that they will carry on his vision into the future for many, many, many decades to come.
Yep, great people in place. I expect that will happen as well. So again, we're still, pilots briefing still underway. They've gotten the weather, and now they're getting caught up probably on the task and the details of the task, and some review of how things have happened, and a reminder of some of the safety regulations. There is always something that has to be reviewed or needs to be
discussed.
Just discussed, yeah.
And as hard as we try with, 400 or 500 balloons in the air at a time, we want to do our best as pilots and as the organization to respect the community and landowner relations. Nancy Wirtz and her team do a tremendous job, not just during Fiesta, but all year round.
Right.
One of the things that Pat told me yesterday, and he actually said it, we couldn't talk to him from the basket, but he was talking about how excited he was about how many white sheets that he had seen out there.
I heard that, yeah.
So he was really excited about that. So if you live in the Albuquerque area and you're watching this and you have land, whether it's anywhere in the city, and you would like a balloon to come to you, you can put out a white X, or you can contact the Balloon Fiesta and let them know you're interested in that. And trust me, we will be happy to get out there and take care of you on that.
Yep, we'll give you the X.
Yes. Now, we can't guarantee they're going to land there.
No. That doesn't mean you're going to get there. Yeah, it's just really nice as a balloon pilot to be flying over an area, and when you look down and you see, especially during Balloon Fiesta, you see all these white sheets or X's, because you know that those are the people who, if I needed to land there, then I could. On the other hand, if you have some livestock or other reasons that you would prefer that we not land there, then you have the opportunity to put out a red sheet or a red X, and that tells the pilot, please don't land here. Move on and find one of those white ones.
Now, different than the big red tarp that ExxonMobil is putting out for Enchanted Horizon. That's Tristan McLean's team looking ready to
that
get prepared.
Trailer almost looks lit up on the side.
It is.
On the side?
Yeah, they have lights down there.
I didn't know they have lights on the side of that
trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Tristan's a superstar, so he has to be lit up all times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love how they all have that cowboy theme. I have a young man who's traveling to Albuquerque on Wednesday who's never left the state of Pennsylvania. He's never been on an airplane, and he's never seen this many balloons before. And the funny thing was, he sent me a text the other day.
Yeah?
And it was a TikTok, and I don't do TikTok, I'm sorry, but I got enough social media. He says, hey, do you know this guy? And it was Tristan. And I said, yes, I do know Tristan. So he's like, I want to crew with him. Can I bring my cowboy hat? I said, bring it. So.
What do you think they're doing? Cleaning the tarp?
I don't know, honestly. Maybe it was turned the right way.
Yeah, they had it all turned out.
Maybe they're cleaning. They could be cleaning it, actually.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
We do get a little, it is the desert and it is dry here, but in the mornings you do get a little bit of precipitation on the grass here. And depending on where they landed the day before, whenever they flew last, it looks like they're clean. That's exactly what they're doing. They're cleaning the tarp.
Cleaning the tarp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can actually do that with your balloon.
Right.
I guess I say they're just taking the enchantment, that dust off of the tarp. So you can do that with your balloon, because your balloon out here in the desert Southwest will get dust on it. And if you have hyperlast, which is a material that a lot of the manufacturers use, it likes dust.
Oh, it's like a magnet.
It is.
It's like a magnet for that dust.
So you'll see some pilots come out here and cold inflate their balloon. So they just cold inflated the tarp.
Yeah.
And they're
flipped it over. Well, yeah, look, yeah, you see it.
and that's the bottom side. That's where all the enchantment is
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
but
you can see that there.
Yeah, they're cleaning that
But
off.
you'll get, you know, again, like you said, if you kind of land in the dirt and stuff, you'll get dirt on there. So you turn the tarp over so the dirt comes off, rub it through the grass. Yeah. There's a lesson in tarp cleaning.
Yeah, you can see. You can see the dust flying off
you can
right
see
there.
it coming off.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Enchanted Horizons balloon team, for showing people out there at Balloon Fiesta Live a new thing.
Well, you know that's we try to bring you as much information and
Insight.
little insight stuff that is out there. We're going to bring that to you. And you know those people that are kind of standing around out there, if they're not or have not been around balloons, they're kind of wondering what's going on. Yeah,
right.
See here now they're coming back. They're bringing the top back.
Yep.
So that it becomes upright. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I think now would be a good time to talk about our giveaway.
You want to give stuff away again?
Yeah, I do. I would like to give some stuff away.
Do it.
During this Balloon Fiesta, we are giving away, per session, 3 Balloon Fiesta Live New Mexico themed license plates. And this is how easy it is, Art.
How easy is it?
All you got to do is you just have to scan that QR code for a chance to win. It will go into Art's magical computer, and he will then randomly choose 3 people per session to receive one of these awesome Balloon Fiesta Live New Mexico themed license plates. And these license plates can go anywhere in the world, right? We're not gonna. This is no one's out of the running in this.
One of the winners yesterday, remember, was from London, England.
Correct. So if you've already scanned in, here's the plate right here. If you've already scanned in, please don't scan it again, because Art will catch you and he will delete you. Not just the double ones, but they've pretty much done a good job. I think you said only 1 or 2,
I think
right?
I've only had to delete out 1 duplicate out of there as well.
So,
and yesterday was New Mexico Day here, and so while once you're in, we pull from everything. But I thought it was kind of ironic that when I pulled the numbers for this morning, so it's kind of based on everybody who was in through yesterday. They're all from New Mexico.
Well,
today,
perfect.
It's all from New Mexico. So our winners for this session is Angela Gibson from Albuquerque, Kathleen Rasmussen from Albuquerque, and Alton Walsh from Santa Fe.
All right.
So the random number generator picked New Mexico folks after New Mexico Day yesterday. I'll be in touch with you after Balloon Fiesta is over to confirm your address and make sure that we can get this off to you. So give me a week or so to be in touch with all of the winners. You don't have to be present to win. All you need to do is get your information into the contest by scanning that QR code. And if you miss that, just go to balloonfiesta.com, call up the Balloon Fiesta Live page, and I think I have the link there already.
Do you?
Yeah, the link's there as well. So do go ahead and do that. Looks like
probably our balloon of the day, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm actually looking out on the field, and I'm seeing some truck action out there. So things are there, and they actually have now also told us that the green flag is up. So we talked about the yellow before, kind of waiting to the end of pilot briefing. And so the green flag is up, and we are good to go. And that would be the balloon of the day. It's red, which means it's the Coca-Cola balloon, because it is Coca-Cola Day here at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. And now the crowd being informed by the PA announcer that the green flag is up.
The illustrious Bill Royal.
Yep. And looks like not necessarily inflating, but like we talked about yesterday and the day before, the ride balloons getting a little bit of air in there to make sure that they've got everything untangled and ready to go so that they can quickly inflate those balloons. Takes a few more minutes to put enough air in there to get those, because they're so much bigger than our regular balloons. And for those of you just joining us, it is a competition day. So about half of our balloons, in fact, there they are.
Yep.
They're pulling on the top.
They're setting the top.
Setting the top, getting all that. Yep. There's exactly what's happening.
So for the people out there that don't understand what setting the top is, these balloons have parachutes in the top of them. Typically, they have little Velcro tabs. Some of them are user-friendly, where they have a Velcro tab on the parachute with a number corresponding with the same number on the actual top of the envelope. Some of them do not.
And so you have to make sure you're paying attention that you're lining them up correctly.
Correct. And the way that's figured out is, for example, I flew firefight balloons. The number 1 tab was a white tab, so it made it real simple. So it went white to white, and then they all fell in place after that. Unless you got someone that didn't know what they were doing, then they twisted you all up, which was not fun. So that's what those guys are doing there, just to make sure that that doesn't happen, because it's critical to get out of here quickly.
I always just lined it up so that the tab and because it's attached inside, so that all the lines were straight and not moving, going off to the side. But go ahead.
No. So that allows the pilot to get that cold air in, and then the quicker that they can do that, the quicker they get out of here. Especially on a day like today, we're going to want to clear the field again for the competition for your favorite competition, which is the Sid Cutter Memorial.
Flying in, drop your marker on the bow of the boat. Last year we had I forget how many, 20-some markers actually on or in the boat. And
that's a great shot right there. The sun just about to come over the Sandia Mountains. Those are all ride balloons that are lined up there, ready to rock and roll.
The trucks and the vans, they're all there.
And all that other activity is a lot of the competition pilots will get out of the way, because they want to get off field. They want to chat with their crews. They want to have a game plan put together so they can hurry up and move about 4 times.
Yep. Looks like a GoPro camera coming off the side of that burner frame.
You know, I used to have a party with my crew, usually before Fiesta, and we would actually, because we did Krispy Kreme for many, many years, we would have the party, and then we go out in the driveway and we would assemble the basket.
Yeah.
Because it got them really understanding how to do it in the dark with whether flashlights or whatever they were using, because it's not your typical basket assembly or balloon assembly when you do stuff at night or in the dark. And it seemed to help out for us anyway.
We used to do that too. In addition to, we'd also kind of do some regular maintenance on the envelope, on the basket that you can do, those types of things. Kind of talk through the ways in, how flight and preparations and all that stuff is a little bit different here at Balloon Fiesta than our normal just go play around on the West Mesa side of things.
Usually takes a couple more minutes to get off the field here than it would if you're just fun flying anywhere.
Yeah.
There's some heat going into the Coca-Cola balloon.
Yeah, so we'll be standing up the Coca-Cola balloon.
Yeah, one of the things
pilot light is on there. We're going to do a burner check here.
One of the things that I used to tell the crew also is I wanted not only safety in the air, but safety on the ground, making sure that they're respecting the speed limits and so on and so forth. You know, I always used to tell them, don't worry about it if you're not there when I land.
Exactly.
Because if I can't land it, I shouldn't be flying it, was my adage to my crew. And they kind of took heart to that, and then they understood exactly what was going on. It's nice when they're there, don't get me wrong, but during Balloon Fiesta, the great thing about flying here in Albuquerque is that everybody is excited about it. And no matter where you go in the city, they want you to land in their front yard or on their property. So you typically have a ground crew waiting for you.
No matter where you land.
Hundreds of happy helping hands, which is a nice thing. There's the Coca-Cola.
Yeah, now you can see the banner as he starts to stand up the balloon. Steve Mitchell, the pilot of our balloon of the day. Coca-Cola. Swire Coca-Cola. Because they have all these kind of franchise type things of Coca-Cola.
He's my neighbor over in Ohio. I should look him up after Fiesta.
Well, sure. I'll look him up here and get him to hook me up with some Coke Zero.
Yes, that is your favorite beverage.
Yeah. Had to move away from the regular Coke. You know, things happen to your body later on in life, and you have to make some changes. So switched from the regular Coke to Coke Zero.
I'm looking here on Facebook, and again, we have Chad Siegel up in Michigan. And
they're
watching
morning,
us
Chad.
again. Good morning. And one of the first posts that I saw was "Good morning from China." So amazing, again, amazing. This is a worldwide loved event. We are so glad that we are able to bring to you the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil.
Hey, Africa's in the house today, too.
All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's see. What else do we have in here?
I have West Virginia's here, Richmond, Texas.
Jonathan? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Jonathan, Peggy and Jim say hi. Glad you're watching. Jim, one of our official photographers, and Peggy's working with behind the scenes here on our Balloon Fiesta Live crew. So glad to have you on here. So,
good morning, Maria Martinez in London, Canada.
Yeah, someone was asking earlier about the drone show. So we have a drone show with every single session this year. So there is a drone show at 5:45. We don't come on the air till 6 o'clock. So the drone show is over by the time we come on. However, we have recorded it for you, and we have put it on the Balloon Fiesta Live page. So you can go watch the morning drone show online. Now for our evening sessions, because we start at 6 and the drone show is at 7:45, we're still on for the evening one. So you can watch the evening drone show live here on Balloon Fiesta Live. If you'd like to see the morning one, just head over to our Balloon Fiesta Live page off of balloonfiesta.com, and you'll be able to watch it there as well. So let's see. Good morning, Albuquerque, from Brendan Tom in Atlanta, Georgia. Here's Melrose, Massachusetts again. Good morning. Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Con Queso is saying good morning to you. I guess I'm Chop Liffer there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I guess that's a friend of yours.
Buenos dias, Royale Con Queso.
Yeah.
Actually, her husband is the undersheriff in Bernalillo County.
Oh, okay.
So I better say hello to her. And JJ as well. So good morning, JJ.
Well, there you go. Alien on Planet Earth says, my balloon is asleep in the garage. Well, what the heck's going on with that? Yeah.
I got Ron Quinn here from upstate New York. Good morning, Ted and Art. Good morning, Ron.
Yes.
And good morning to your whole clan up there that's watching us. We appreciate it.
Ottawa, Kansas is in the house. New Brunswick.
Montreal.
What color is the flag? Elijah wants to know. It's green, sir. We're just waiting for sunrise at this point. And 7 o'clock, which is about 17 minutes away, we'll have our national anthem and the colors. Steve Mitchell will take the Coca-Cola balloon airborne with the flag. And right after that, we'll get underway with our Ascension here.
You know, we're talking about all these people that are not here and watching us, and we appreciate that. But I think now would be a good time to talk about balloonfiestastuff.com.
Okay, let's talk about balloonfiestastuff.com. We talked about the balloonfiesta.com webpage, but our store and all of our merchandise is on balloonfiestastuff.com. And that QR code will take you right there. So scan the code. You'll be on our store. You'll be able to shop 17 minutes, and you won't miss any balloon activity. You can shop right now at balloonfiestastuff.com. We've got all kinds of stuff there. We've got cups and mugs and drinkware. We've got solar lanterns. We've got pins. We've got patches. We've got hats. We've got T-shirts. We've got hoodies. We've got hundreds of different Balloon Fiesta-themed merchandise, much of it marked for 2024. But we've started a couple of years ago a year-round line of merchandise. So it just says Balloon Fiesta. It wouldn't put the year on it, so it's good all the time. A lot of people like it. Oh, yeah, that 2024, that's the year I was there. Other people just want to be able to wear it all year round and not necessarily date themselves, although it's kind of fun. My wife was wearing a shirt from the 25th Balloon Fiesta the other day, and somebody said, I said, oh, I really like that shirt, and then realized it was from 27 years ago. Yeah, the stuff holds up pretty well, I have to say. Anyway, while you're there, while you're shopping, put all that stuff in your cart. When you get to the checkout part of the day, go ahead and use the code Fiesta24. And if you have put any clothing, any sportswear, hats, hoodies, T-shirts, any of that stuff, if you've put any of that in your cart, entering the Fiesta24 discount code will get you 10% off all that clothing stuff. So a number of people are taking advantage of that. Check on that usually after the show each morning to kind of see what's there. And now's the time to do that. It is a one-time only use code, and it expires on October 15th. So it's only really good during Balloon Fiesta. So get in there, get shopping, get your stuff. I haven't checked with the merchandise people to see how sales are as far as anything selling out. The sales are good. I can see that from the back end of the store, but I haven't looked to see what items might be going quickly. We'll try and find that out here in the next day or so.
And we can ship merchandise anywhere.
We can ship it anywhere. We can ship it anywhere, or if you're in the Albuquerque area or plan to be in the Albuquerque area, you can schedule it for free pickup. Just wait for the email that says your order's ready for pickup, and we will. You'll be able to stop by our gift shop. You can actually go to the merchandise tents here on the field. There's one at the north and south ends of the field, and there is our physical gift shop that is open year-round, right at the corner of Alameda and Balloon Museum Drive, which is basically just south of Balloon Fiesta Park where we are right now, as the sky is starting to light up and our balloons are starting to get some air in them.
Well, with that said, if you're going to ship stuff anywhere in the world, I just got a good morning from a Karen Dahl in Bremen, Germany. So, Karen, we expect you to get on and at least pick something up off of the site. Anyway, yeah, this is the most, I think, Art, to be honest with you, this time of morning probably rivals the sunsets in Albuquerque in my book.
Definitely.
It's the start of a new day. Everything can change. You can put a new foot forward, and then we're going to see some balloons.
All the stuff of yesterday is behind you, and it's an unwritten book in front of you to make it a great one.
Absolutely.
So we're looking at the top of a balloon here, and
without a top in it.
Without the top in. Yeah, because there's a person in there. Yeah, so he's getting ready to do that tabbing you talked about.
Yep.
Okay, so there. So he's got that one. He's got to find the matching one in the top. Make sure he's got the right one to match. Might be.
This is where the math comes into play.
Yeah. Make sure the line is not there. Okay, they match up. So I put the tab in. Okay, now I got to move to the next one. And a lot of times you'll kind of hold that first one in so it doesn't come out. Once you get the second one in, depending on how strong the Velcro is. Yep, so now there's the second tab.
Yeah, because if you think about it, over time, the amount of heat that goes to the tops of those balloons, that Velcro kind of
cooks.
It just cooks, and then it doesn't stick anymore.
Yeah.
And then at your annual inspection, when they put new Velcro on, sometimes it sticks too much. So as a pilot, you're really struggling to set the top once you're at that point.
Yeah. That's what you tell the crew. Only attach half the Velcro strip.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah. And then as it starts to cook, okay, you know what? We really need to start doing all the Velcro now.
It saves your Velcro at least a couple annuals, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So that's the parachute, the vent, the top. We call it all those types of things. All of those black lines are the load tapes. That's what's really carrying the weight. They all come to that ring you see coming up, and then they all connect down to the basket at the bottom. That's where that's the structure of the balloon. That's the weight, all of that. The fabric just holds the air in place so that you get the lift.
Right. And depending on the manufacturer, the load tapes are different. For example, in a Firefly system, the actual cables are inside the load tapes.
Yes.
So you get a little bit flex. So flying a different one, this is probably a Cameron or a Lindstrand, I would think.
Yeah.
They're like a fixed tab in there, and you don't get as much bounce, but when you're flying a Firefly, say that fast 10 times, you actually get a bounce.
That's why we call them Balloon Works.
Balloon Works, yes, okay.
That's that name. The company name has just changed a number of times, yeah. So at the other end where there's someone on the fan and other folks holding the side until they decide to walk away. You gotta go.
And you can see where those same tapes that Art was talking about at the very top actually go all the way to the bottom. attached to the uprights of the balloon.
Yep.
To the cable,
All
the
the way
load
down,
cable,
yep.
the load cables.
Yeah, the straps kind of turn to cables that get connected there. So we were talking about this balloon before the show. We've talked about it on the show. The kind of red one with the heart there and the white
tentacles
coming out of it. That's Mike Heffron in Cottywomple. And we were talking about his basket. He has a specially designed basket that has a door where you can bring a wheelchair into the basket. One of our good friends that crews for us also crews for him sometime, and it was explaining all the straps and the seat belts to be able to put that in there. And I was saying, yeah, the only problem we've had with that is there's a side of the basket that's plexiglass so that they can see out. And every time we've seen him in the air and we talk about that,
we don't see it.
It's on the other side. So he was texting him. He was going to tell Mike Heffron to make sure he puts the plexiglass towards us. So we'll see if that really happens.
No pressure, Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a feeling that as he flies over this morning, we're going to actually see it.
I think we might see it this morning. Yeah, I think you're right.
There's another one of those big ride balloons. These balloons are not technically Rainbow Rider balloons, but they're balloons that Rainbow Riders has brought in and
they're ride balloons in other areas contracted through Rainbow Riders to come here and help deliver those rides.
I had some friends the other day in from Toronto, Canada, and they wanted to ride, and they actually had paid for a ride, and they wanted to ride with one of our local pilots who I had been mentioning a lot, and it just didn't work out, but they were able to actually ride with a local Canadian pilot, so they were pretty excited about that and had a great time.
Look at all the people out there already this morning. This is great. We're about 8 minutes away from our national anthem. There's some of the other ride balloons that also incorporate the corporation types of aspect to this. The Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, the Visit Albuquerque, which is the Albuquerque Tourism Department. So ride balloons being operated by Rainbow Riders, but incorporating company slogans on the side of those as well. We were looking at some of those that were kind of radio stations from, most of those are from Canada. But yeah.
And again, talking about the size of the balloons, that Indian Pueblo Cultural Center balloon, that's the Lobo, New Mexico Lobo balloon right there that's got a little bit of heat going into it to the left.
Yeah, the little kind of turquoise. Yeah, the one, just lit up. And when that stands up, you'll definitely see the difference in size of the two balloons. It's actually kind of funny to see the University of New Mexico and the New Mexico State balloons kind of nestled in there among those with all the big other ride ones. It makes them look like baby balloons, even though they're the normal size or the more regular sport balloon size. I always hate to get into that. What's normal and what's not? We saw the green side of the Visit Albuquerque balloon, and now standing right up next to the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, the red side. Paul Petrin flying the Visit Albuquerque balloon this week. And we see more crews.
I believe that's probably the Ibex balloon from Germany, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be.
I just got a message on Facebook here. One of the viewers that's watching out on the field said, please send your on-the-ground reporter to the Maryland 1 balloon out to the field. That's Patrick Smith. I was watching his adventure across the country to get to Albuquerque with his, let's see here, he had 4 kids, his age 3 to 11, grandma and a dog all came across. I can't even, that would, they should have recorded
From Maryland,
that.
Right?
They should have done a movie. That would have probably rivaled Vacation.
Yeah.
So.
They could just call it Balloon Fiesta.
Yeah, they could.
Balloon Fiesta Journey.
Yeah. So
we were talking with the ride balloons about those load tapes attaching to cables, and now here we are attaching the cables to the basket.
With the carabiner.
Yep. Banner number 495.
Let's see here, that is...
I'll let you get it.
That's that's Meow Wolf. That's
okay.
That's Rick Kerber.
Okay.
I guess we should have known by the top of it right there.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking that flight team on the back of his hoodie there, typical of what the Rainbow Riders guys have. And so Rainbow Riders also manages the Meow Wolf balloon.
That balloon right there with the Z on it to the right is a Rainbow Riders. That's Brad Rice in his 20th year, the world famous Brad Rice.
Did he pay you to say that?
No. I like Brad.
I like Brad too.
You know, he started ballooning when he was 6 years old.
Yeah. His dad, a long time member of the board of directors of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Many of those years as treasurer.
I actually had the privilege of flying with Dick Rice off the field in one of the Fiesta balloons a number of years back.
Yeah.
I think it was actually his final flight from Fiesta Field.
Oh, yeah?
I was very honored that he asked me to go with him as another pilot.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's nice.
A lot of fun. So, Dick, if you're listening out there, good morning to you. I always would say to him, I would call him Mr. Rice, and he says, "That's not me. That's my father. My name's Dick."
And Dick's been around Balloon Fiesta since the very, very, very early days. I think he was actually on that city commission
with Mayor Kenny.
Yeah, that Harry Kenny set up. He was kind of brought in as kind of a financial guy to put the whole piece together here. How do we do this? Because Sid Cutter basically kind of funded that very first group, and in the first World Championships, and then the one after that, and decided this was not something that one person should be funding. It needs to be an organization that can be dedicated to doing this. Harry Kinney had the vision to put together that city commission, brought in a number of city leaders, and the results of that commission was to form a nonprofit organization called the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. So we were just moments away from heading over to the Main Street stage and Bill Royal for our national anthem while we continue to watch balloons get ready to go here. A number of our Rainbow Riders, our ride balloons are standing up. Corporate balloons down here on the south end are standing up. Tristan McLean has the Exxon Mobil balloon standing up. And we're just moments away from getting our Maes Ascension, if you will, flight off the field, to be followed by competition shortly after that. And again, we're scheduled for the Sid Cutter Memorial Task. Going to be a great day of flying here.
It is. It's shaping up to be very nice.
Yeah, things are looking good. And I see the Dawn Patrol guys have gotten, it looks like way off to the west. So some good landing sites out there as well.
Absolutely.
So maybe not too many passes at all, but anyway, it is time to head down to the Main Street stage and our PA announcer, Mr. Bill Royal.
To Coca-Cola Day at the 52nd Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by Exxon Mobil. Right now, our balloon of the day, the Coca-Cola balloon, is preparing to go up and be the first balloon to embrace the sky this morning for our Ascension. However, don't forget, we got a couple special things coming up. Competitions today after 8 a.m., which are really amazing feats of technical ability from the balloons, and it's a tribute to our founder, Sid Cutter, today. So there's going to be some extra things during the play-by-play to check out after 8 a.m. Plus, on Friday morning, it is Kids Day, presented by Chick-fil-A, which is something very special. 4:30 in the morning, before the morning activities, we will be out here on the Main Street stage with special stuff for the kids on Friday. Of course, the Flight of the Nations is tomorrow morning, and it looks like we're going to have an amazing morning happening today. We appreciate you coming out for a beautiful Tuesday. We believe we have the box today. So this is one to write home about and to let everybody know you were there when this amazing thing was happening that does not happen on this scale anywhere else in the world except right here. But right now, as the Coca-Cola balloon prepares to raise the colors, we have our national anthem to start things and the raising of our colors. And now, please welcome, to honor our country, a native New Mexican, voted top 5 vocalist by Albuquerque Magazine and half of the Love and Life duo, Susan Tipton.
Oh, Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, well, there's our national anthem, and it's ballooning underway.
Officially underway on day number 4, Tuesday morning, Coca-Cola Day, as Steve Mitchell takes the Coca-Cola balloon airborne with the colors of America. All right. So we are basically going to now get all the rest of our balloons off the field, or half of our balloons off the field and in the air before we start our competition. And we heard weather this morning from the pilot's briefing.
Well, actually, I've heard from this person early this morning. I can't believe he's still awake. So good morning, Duncan.
Good morning.
Duncan is one of our weather people here at Balloon Fiesta. Tell us how long you've been doing this, Duncan.
This is my 4th year at Fiesta doing weather.
Okay.
But you do it around the country for other events as well, don't you?
Yep. I do about 15 to 20 events a year.
And so what are we expecting this morning? Kind of lay it out for us. What are we going to see?
So this morning, finally, we're going to see the typical Albuquerque box that we normally get, where we get those winds headed to the south on the surface, the drainage winds, and as you go up higher, you come back up to the north, and you might be able to come back to the field. We haven't really had that the last couple of days just due to the weather pattern. Yesterday we had a different one, but it was a very tall box. But today is just a nice standard box that we're going to have in beautiful Albuquerque weather.
It's going to be pretty straight because it looks like there's a little bit of a roll to the west.
It's anticipated to straighten out and become more of a typical box,
okay.
Especially as you go later into the day.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your day. Ted says you've been looking at stuff since 2 o'clock this morning?
Absolutely. So we are up at 2:30 in the morning gathering weather information. We send up little weather balloons. We're reading weather stations not only from around the area, but we have a network of weather stations here on the field that we cover, and we are analyzing all different models, different airports, and basically everything that we can gather for the safety of our pilots and the safety of the event. So we've been analyzing it since 2:30, and it's now 6:30. So we've been really watching the weather for well over 4 hours at this point.
My wife said, hey, make sure you set your alarm. I said, there's no need to. Between Duncan and Brad, my alarm's going to start going off at 2 in the morning. So
yes.
You guys are my alarm every morning. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Give us a quick outlook for the rest of the week.
So the rest of the week actually looks amazing. There's a ridge of high pressure sitting just off to our west, and now high pressure means we're going to have pretty good weather for the rest of Fiesta, hopefully.
Well, because things always change, right?
Yeah, things can always change, but right now the forecast is looking really favorable for the rest of the event.
Well, and if it changes, we know where to come find you.
Yep.
Yeah. And, well, it sounds like he'll be finding us to tell us it's changing.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, Duncan, thanks to you and the rest of the whole weather team for keeping everyone up to date on what to expect with the weather.
Thank
We're going to
you
go
all.
enjoy the box today.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Duncan.
Uh-huh.
Have a great day.
Uh-huh.
Well, we're seeing balloons start to go off of Fiesta Field right here. We saw, the typical morning right at sunrise, what ends up happening, and you get a little bit of gustiness that happens right at sunrise, and we saw that with a couple of these launches, did we not?
Yeah, that last little blast of cool air and the breeze. And, here, look at this happening, too. People are going off a little bit south. Some people are going southeast. Some people are going southwest. And so already we can see some steerage here. And then I'm looking up at Coca-Cola, who's probably about 600 feet up, and he's just parked out there. So I know you can't quite see that yet, but, well, you can actually see it with some of the Rainbow Riders balloons.
Right, they're starting to make that turn.
Some are moving along. Some have already stopped. Oh, yeah, it's about 300 feet before it turns around.
Yeah, there's a fast layer, probably about 75 to 100 feet off the deck. But then once they get above that, they're starting to make that turn back over the field. And I believe that'll slow down as the sun comes up and mixes in all that over time. We did see some balloons in the front here that pulled out. They're probably going to try it again. It got a little bit too uncomfortable for their level. But it looks to me like they may try it one more time here in a second.
Well, it's all about timing. We've talked about that.
Right.
If you're standing up when that little gust comes through for that 2-minute time period, you go, whoa, wait a minute about that, But then, put it up and go from there. There's the shot. We were looking at the UNM balloon before. There's the New Mexico State balloon, the Up Aggies balloon, and you see how much smaller that is. But the New Mexico State balloon is the size of all the other balloons. So it's not that it's smaller, it's that the others are that much bigger.
Just the average size, 80 to 90,000 cubic feet.
Yep.
And talking in size again, for everyone out there that maybe you know about balloons, but there are a lot of people out there that don't.
Right.
I talk to schools a lot of time, and to put it in perspective for both kids and kids at heart alike, you could fit 90,000 regulation inflated basketballs inside of that balloon when it is fully inflated. And the one to the right of it, if it's a 220 or a 275, that's 275,000 regulation basketballs that can fit inside of there. So if you just look at that row right there, Art, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think there are that many basketballs in the state of New Mexico.
It'd be tough to find that many.
There's there's the New Mexico or the Albuquerque red and green.
Visit Albuquerque. Well, and then you can see red on the left, green on the right. And Paul's using the turning event, so it's just kind of rotating around, and we're kind of moving. All right, there's the
there we go. There's the shot.
And look, he's turning it.
Yep, there's the shot.
He's turning it.
And you can see the
yes, it's there. If you know what you're looking for, you can kind of tell that the plexiglass is there. So, hey, we have connections.
We do.
We have connections.
Well, again, we're all one happy family, right?
We are. Yep. And if we don't know them directly, we probably know somebody who does. I mean, there's no 6 degrees. It's about 1 or 2 degrees.
Or a half a degree.
Or a half. Yeah, like I said, if we don't have a direct connection, we're not more than 1 or 2 away from it. So, but yeah.
Well, we continue to watch the first and only wave of our mini Maes Ascension before competition starts here at the 52nd annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. We see ride balloons taking flight with all of these people that are checking off their bucket list from Rainbow Riders, as well as several private and commercial pilots that are part of the first wave. I actually see Arabelle out there. Not on the screen yet, but you guys will see Arabelle. Once some of these balloons clear, our stat camera crew will be able to snag that on the northeast end of the field and probably can get that picture from our camera over off the main stage.
So there you go. Pull the envelopes in a bag, pull the bag out. You can see that there's little straps that just kind of help keep it together in the bag. Stretch it out. Then they'll start that same process we talked about before. Kind of spread it out. There's the crown line and all the ropes at the top. They'll put the top in on that one as well. There's no way that we can launch all 550 people. It's kind of like everybody go and everybody go up because you see things are actually moving along. So we do them in stages. We use something called the 3-row rule, where you kind of look down the path and you're following what's happening 3 rows ahead of you, so that it's just kind of a solid wave going up as we do these. That way we can safely launch all these balloons.
There's a great shot of our on-field camera and Rick Kerber and the Meow Wolf balloon getting ready for inflation.
Well, the fan's actually running. Hard to tell.
There's Rick right there.
Yeah, Rick's off on the side there and waving at us from the throat side as he starts putting some air in the Meow Wolf balloon.
I'll tell you, it's been a little cooler this morning than it had been, so I give that crew person props for shorts right there, because when that fan goes full blast, it's gonna be nice and cool.
Yeah.
It will be beyond a cold pack.
Yep.
There we go.
We talked about the large envelopes. They come with very large baskets.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a comedian out there that says this basket was made of wicker, right?
Yeah.
Something that could barely hold laundry. They expect it to hold him. But they are very sturdy, and they're done to absorb the shock when the balloon comes and lands, because we don't have landing gears in balloons. So we do make contact with Mother Earth every single time on landing, and some are nice and soft, and then others could be fun at best.
It is amazing how much shock those wicker baskets can take. I never flew an iron bucket, which were those aluminum-shaped baskets that we had in the very early days. But people have talked about landing in those and having quite a shock when you hit sometimes. Even if it's a nice soft landing, there's no give in those. The wicker basket's really much.
Well, I've hit my knee on a tank before that's padded, so
Ooh,
I can't even
even
imagine landing in an iron bucket.
Yeah. Well, there's a great shot of the basket on one of those ride balloons.
And those skids on the side for everyone, those are wooden skids. Sometimes it depends on what the wood is built out of, but those are called safari skids. So when you're out on the African safari, on the desert, or wherever, it will not chew up all the wicker that's on the downside, because that's typically where you're going to be landing when they tip.
Well, as you know, we start with the basket on its side, and typically it doesn't drag at that point. You stand it up, and when you come down, you could drag. So that's what that's about. Colorado balloon, another one of the Rainbow Riders. 2 of those Colorado balloons here.
You know, as I'm looking up, I know our people can't. You can kind of see it there. That box back to the northwest is becoming a little bit more shallow now and a little bit more slow in speed.
And I think straightening out like Duncan said it was going to. Yeah.
I'm looking at Tristan McLean. He's probably over the Rio Grande River now, headed towards Rio Rancho in the Exxon Mobil balloon.
Well, and the Dawn Patrol guys, they tended to get a lot farther to the west, but yeah, things.
We still have a Dawn Patrol. If you just look to the left out there, there's one guy. I can't see it from here, obviously, but he's still floating out there.
Look, there's Tristan.
There he is.
There he is.
Again, our camera crew is unbelievable.
Yeah.
On it.
They are. They are. Love having the guys from Windfire Productions put all this together for us. 6, 7. Let's see. I always forget how many, because he keeps adding cameras to us. So it's kind of like, hey Gary, I'd really like to get this shot. Okay, we'll add a camera. We'll do that. So we have 2 cameras here on the stage with us. So that's our south view and the view of us when we take that. We also, in our interviews, we have one on the Main Street stage on those scissor lifts. You've seen that in a couple of shots. Camera on the north then. We have a camera on the west side that brings us the pilot briefing and competition from there. 2 mobile cameras. So a great team, an entire production trailer here. We've got full monitors, headset communications for those of you in the business, a full IFB. Yeah, it's all together here and all put together by Gary Williams, his son Stephen Williams, and the entire Windfire production team.
Tremendous production team, tremendous.
Yep.
We just saw a second ago on Balloon Fiesta Live a pretty cute parachute top with a smiley face, and I think we're going to see a lot more smiley faces.
And you were talking about pulling. We talked about that top kind of floating, that red one that just went out of the bottom of the screen. That was the top being pulled in as he's decided to, for whatever reason, not take off at this point. And then here's Heat going into the Meow Wolf balloon.
Rick Kerber, our pilot there.
So we're scheduled to fly with Nick Abrams this morning in his Cowboys Dream balloon. But with those 2 mobile cameras, we're able to go and see other things that are happening. We're actually going to go check in with Rick at the Meow Wolf balloon here in just a couple of minutes. Great shot.
Very
See
nice
that heat
inflation.
going in there? Yeah. And as the balloon stands up, it stands the basket up. Then there's that blue rope coming off the back. That's the tie-off, and I think we've mentioned that a time or two. Tied off to the truck, just to kind of keep the balloon from getting airborne when Rick is not ready to do that. So, required for all balloons here at Balloon Fiesta Park to be tied off during their inflations and during our close. Hey, they've put the Blaser Swiss Loop can up.
That's a cool balloon. I like that.
Yeah, they've got
I
a
know
couple.
last year they were big supporters of the Gordon Bennett.
Yes.
And they had some really cool little cans filled with candy, which I still have,
Oh,
on,
yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
on my desk.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that, but yeah. They've been flying the round balloons all week, so this is the first time we've seen the can. But, yeah, good to have those folks here again. I just saw Beautiful World go off the southeast corner of the field. That balloon also built for the 50th Balloon Fiesta a couple of years ago. Jewel Cutter commissioned that. And so it is the one of the World Balloons. Sid had a lot of World Balloons. His company was World Balloon Corporation, so he made these balloons that looked like globes and had the maps on it. This particular one has on the map lots of pins like you would see on a digital map, pins and stars, all kind of marking the spots that Sid and Jewel had something special to do in their life as things, throughout their career and their ballooning career as well. So speaking of special things, we've been kind of hanging out the Meow Wolf balloon this morning because we heard that Rick Kerber, the pilot over there, we heard that
He's got a special message,
he's got
right?
He's got a little special message for somebody. So Rick, what's going on out there, man?
Good morning, Rick.
Hey, good morning, guys. So welcome to Fiesta. Today I want to shout out to my beautiful wife. Her name is Chris Kerber. She's back at the office. I'm going to pay for this later, but I have a message for my beautiful wife. So I brought a bunch of friends. We want to sing happy birthday to her. So how about it, guys? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my bride. Happy birthday to you. I love you, babe. Thanks for have a great day. I can't wait to see you when I get home. Happy birthday, hon. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Rick. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And my understanding is that she had to continue to work back in Michigan, but she's got like about 10 co-workers there with her, and they've been watching Balloon Fiesta live all week on a 70-inch television there. And so Rick came up yesterday and wanted to know if we could say happy birthday, and I said, it's not going to mean as much from us as it is from you. So we agreed to send that out there. And thanks, Rick. Good job, and happy birthday back there in Michigan. Thanks for watching us here on Balloon Fiesta Live.
Yep.
There's Arabelle, the cow, standing up once again for us. And look, her head's she's awake today. The head's coming up.
Yes, she is.
Hey, and speaking of birthdays, don't you have some birthday connection as well?
Yeah, I do have a birthday connection. Actually, my eldest son, Traxler, is 28 years old today. He is a Fiesta baby as well.
Right.
And so this is a photograph I got of Traxler back when he was my crew chief.
Okay.
He's probably going to kill me, but happy birthday, son.
Yeah, you'll be paying for it after Fiesta,
happy birthday,
too.
son. I do love you. And when we get back home, we'll go out and have a cool dinner. But happy birthday to you, buddy.
Happy birthday. Yeah, they say when you have more than about 30 people together, there's people that have the same birthdays. That's just the statistics there. So there's probably lots of other birthdays out there watching and listening as well. And so happy birthday to all of you. Happy anniversaries, because other people get engaged and get married during Balloon Fiesta. So happy everything to everybody day.
Yes.
It's just a great day here at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Tuesday morning competition day.
Coca-Cola Day.
Coca-Cola Day. Sid Cutter Memorial Competition Day. There's Vampirilla flying. The sun is just about to peek over the Sandia Mountains, and all of these colors, while gorgeous now, are going to get even brighter. The balloons that are up about 1,000 feet are already in that sunlight, and so we'll start seeing the rest of them as well. Yes, we do have a box. It's not very high, which is perfect. You just kind of fly off the south end of the field, go up a couple hundred feet, turn around and go back to the north, and if you go a little bit higher than that, you can go northwest. So one of those fabulous flying days here at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
Absolutely. And on screen right now we have Captain Eric Hodges.
Oh, not Eric.
Again, yes.
Again. Yeah. Eric picked up the Ed Yost Award for 40 years of safe flying at the BFA meeting on Sunday. Eric is one of those people who told me that he started watching Balloon Fiesta live at work all year long.
He did.
Yeah, he would watch it, and he'd come back to me. I'd see him on a weekend. He said, "You know, on that whatever show you did, that was really cool," or something like that. He would quote these things back to us, which was really kind of fun.
Well, the funny thing is we would talk to one another, maybe in the evening, that we would both watch it. So I was one of the viewers as well.
Oh, that's great.
It's really funny. A lot of these balloonists, when we get their balloon on, and again, it's all random. It's where our camera crews are going to be out there.
It's all timing.
It's all timing. Like, hey, get me on. Well, get in the air and we'll get you on at some point. They really, really enjoy having their balloon put on. And then who wouldn't? We're at one of the largest event in the world when it comes to hot air ballooning. And we like to share with everyone the happiness and the joy of what goes on at Balloon Fiesta.
Continuing education, a big thing with balloon pilots. In fact, there's a safety seminar being put on for pilots later this afternoon. But there was one that I went to a couple of years ago here in Albuquerque back in the March timeframe. And I walked in and there's this video playing and it's Balloon Fiesta Live. And so I'm walking in and I'm hearing myself talk, and we happened to catch a pilot come in and hit the ground a little hard. And we called him out on it, just on the air. Oh, look, wasn't paying attention, did this, did that type of thing. And so he was playing that back at before the safety seminar, and then he addressed what he did wrong to get caught out in that kind of situation. So it's kind of incredible how things come back around and people can learn from it as well. That's Bryce Riesling, with the Zozobra balloon on the back of his jacket there.
Yes, it is.
He was one of the project organizers behind Zozobra. He got the city of Albuquerque, the city of Santa Fe, and the Kiwanis Club up in Santa Fe together, and kind of brought them all together and kind of helped put together the whole Zozobra project, which includes not only that huge special shape, but a fairly large remote control Zozobra shape as well, which our special shapes will be back with us tomorrow here on the field. There's It's a Zoo with the giraffe and the planes.
That's Clark Hardbold from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's one of those 5 Carolina pilots that's flying the banners for the Carolina folks.
And the Lottie Dottie Chicken. And we've talked about, and we will again, one of those pylons off to the side, the white with the red rings on it and the blue logo from Isleta Resort. That's a marker. There's one of those in every corner of the field. They're 75 feet tall. As our balloons take off from the field, they need to be 75 feet above the ground when they exit the field. So that's their visual indication that they are that high.
And let me tell you, flying from the rows 1 or 2 from the field makes it a little bit more difficult sometimes to actually start that ascent. You have to really burn quick and get out. We saw that earlier with a couple of these guys that were right in row 1 here. But it is all for safety and to make sure that everyone has an enjoyable time and we have no issues.
We're seeing a couple shapes this morning that we haven't seen earlier this week, which is great. Of course, we're going to feature them big time starting on Thursday and Friday. So this is the Jata balloon. Luis Assis from Brazil. The big green elephant. The guys in Brazil just love bringing us really creative shapes every single year. Well, the Arabelle's coming down,
Yep.
but if you look off to the side, there's Yoda, and then there's the backside of the Joda, and then the little Lottie Dottie chicken back out there.
Diane Carlson, I believe.
Oh, the bandit there. That's
Bandit.
Diane. Yep.
We just had, you guys can't see it, but I'm sure our crew, if I ask for this, they will get it to us. There is Hyla the Frog, John Viner. There you go.
There you go.
These guys are on it. Thanks, guys.
They do make us look good.
I've flown the other frog that's here, and it's kind of odd because the legs fly out in front of you while you're flying.
So
There's
this
our
is,
camera.
Yeah, this is our other camera. Again, with 2 mobile cameras down there. One was over there with Meow Wolf, and I did see Rick get off in flight. But this is Cowboy's Dream. This is Nick Abrams. And we expect to have our camera in his balloon, so we'll get a shot back of the field when he gets airborne. Preventive pest control. Another one of those shapes. Regular, kind of a regular shaped balloon, but it's got that appendages of those big old black widow spiders on the side of it.
That's got to be your wife Bobby's favorite balloon out here at the moment. She's going to kill me.
Yeah. She's home watching this morning. She was asking me when she knew that we were going to do the birthday wish from Rick and Meow Wolf.
Right.
She was saying, when are you going to do that? When are you going to do that? And I said, soon, soon. Of course, it's happened now. I just saw a quick shot of Sir Mix-a-Lot getting some cold air in. Here's another one of our balloons being hot inflated now. You saw the cold part. Now it's the hot part. I kind of wish I was standing by one of those burners at the moment. This quick layer is still here, right at the ground, and it's just keeping things just a little cool.
Yeah, that balloon that's inflating there, that's Caitlin Salazar.
Oh, okay.
Pixie Spirit from Los Lunas, New Mexico.
Hey, Diana's got Bandit in the sky.
Bryce is all over this place. He's down there crewing, taking pictures, putting up Zobra.
Yeah, yeah. Where's that one coming from?
Yeah, we just heard a second ago over the radio that our assistant balloon meister, Peg Bilson, was just reminding the pilots that there's a fast layer right off of the Fiesta field. Once they climb to about 200-300 feet, there's a very slow layer. So for all the pilots to be watching from above, below, although it is both pilots' responsibility, when you're down below, you really can't see anything. So I'm sure if there are eyes in the basket, it's everyone talking to the pilot and letting them know what they're seeing around.
And not only is that layer, it's not very high, it's very slow and it's coming back. So it starts to drag you back. Right there goes Meow Wolf out on the top of the picture as we watch Yoda stream across the field.
And in the rules and regulations that the pilots sign off on, if they are to make a pass back over the field, it's required at 500 feet. And with that layer up there being so slow, they're trying, Art, they're really trying. And the sun has now not hit the field, but wow, what a spectacular view if we could get it from the rooftop deck to the west side of the sunlight hitting all of the balloons that are headed to the west side.
Nick going hot, putting that heat in there. I just noticed that the Meow Wolf balloon and our Cowboys Dream balloon, where we have our cameras this morning, both Kubitschek balloons, manufacturer, and of course they have the upright covers with the Kubitschek logo on there. So
there's that shot I was talking about.
There's the shot you asked for. Yep. The Wyoming balloon going to make sure they're going to get in the shot, coming up from the bottom.
Bruce Pipick.
Yep.
the way that shot right there looks kind of cool. It looks like the Cowboys actually really riding right by everybody.
It does. Yeah, that's the colors we were talking about. And there goes Jada the elephant, followed by Jonathan the Wolf, and is just blanked out on the name of his balloon, the fractal balloon.
And Patrick Smith there in the Maryland 1 balloon.
Infinitude.
Yep.
I knew it had, yeah, Infinitude was that one.
People are probably wondering, how do we get these balloon names and names of pilots so quickly? And I will tell you that the mastermind behind this is the guy sitting right next to me on the set. Art has put together this fantastic app that all we have to do is type in a name, a color, and we get everything pop up. And it's Android-based, Apple-based, and it's actually a really cool app. So, Art, I know you continue to contribute to this show in ways that I wouldn't have even thought about, because if not, we'd be flipping through a program like we used to back when we were kids.
Yep. First year I was up here, that was the deal is how do you know all these guys? And it's, yeah, literally go through the program. I remember in the very early days when I worked in the media committee here, and I would kind of run people up, like the interview people, like we had Duncan on, we've had Henry Rosenbaum on, those kind of people. I would kind of do some of that stuff, and I would go up the scaffolding to this tower to be able to go see Glenn and Tommy Rutherford, et cetera. And they actually had some people up there spotting and saying, hey, there's so-and-so flying such and such a banner. So they had some spotters, and then they kind of moved away from that. And when I joined, they were literally looking it up in the program, and I said, there's got to be a better way.
Right.
My dream is to be able to take my device, my iPad or my phone, and literally point the camera at the balloon and have it pop up the information for me. I've actually investigated that a couple of times, and while the technology continues to get better, one of the problems is so many of these balloons look different from one angle than the other. And you can think the shapes are real obvious, but we've got I mean, even this balloon that we're looking at on the screen, we see the checkerboard and the white, but as that balloon rotates 90 degrees, you see the white with the geometric
Sunburst,
shape
yes.
on it. So you've got to be able to make that technology work. You've got to basically have a 360 picture of
the balloon,
every
yeah.
balloon. We're going to get there one of these days, hopefully in my lifetime, and we'll be able to just point our device and let it say, oh, well, that's this, or that's that.
We continue the mini Maes Ascension prior to competition of the Sid Cutter Memorial here at Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. It is shaping up to be a great day, and the sun is just starting to hit the tops of those balloons out here at Fiesta Field.
I don't always catch that view. Sometimes it's like it's dark, and the
It's
next
like-
time I look, then the light is on all of them.
You can
But
see it
look
right
at
there,
that,
yeah.
right on the tops. Yeah,
Ron Curry in the 96.3 News Radio KKOB balloon.
formerly KKOB 770.
Well, I'm
Or
old,
KOB
I remember
770.
770 KOB.
Yeah, 770 KOB, yeah.
That there is the Luna balloon, and right below it is Pix. That is Jim Williams from the Houston area. His wife Lisa is.
So look on the off on the right there. That's the flag of where the moon landing was.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's just off.
And there's the
opposite.
turning vent on the
There's the
on
turn,
moon.
and it's even open. Look,
Yes.
you can see right in the turning vent.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool shots. And then the kind of the dimple on the side we're seeing here, that's the rope that's attached to the other side so that you leverage that turning vent.
There's Nick. I'm trying to spot him on the field. I think he's to the left
He's
of us.
back over here in
Yeah.
M8, so we can't quite see him for all the other balloons from our vantage point, which is why we have the camera on the field.
Hard to miss me.
Yeah, I know. But
And the burner. I want to put my hands up there. I want to put my hands up there.
Think about it being warm. Or think about it being warm.
It's warm. It's warm. Hey, I see the sun coming. Yeah.
There's the Creamland Moo Crew. Moo.
And if you notice that more and more people are doing something with their
Yes.
tops, with their parachute tops. You mentioned the smiley face earlier. There's the words Moo Crew.
I hate to say this, but to bring Eric Hodges into the mix again, but I think he was one of the first ones to put the Zia logo on one of
in
his
the top?
balloons. Yes.
The Accident Insurance Company balloon, who sponsors. Okay, I'm blanking.
Fast Track, Team Fast Track.
Team Fast Track.
Team Fast Track.
I knew it was one of those. I'm running through all the people that have this, the pieces there. Thank you.
I'll tell you, a lot of people have said to me already, said, hey, what's it like up there with art? How do you enjoy it? I'm really enjoying it, but this is not as easy as what most people would think.
Well, hopefully we'll make it sound easy.
Well, yes, but you have people talking in your ear. You have to remember all the text and all the, it's.
You're looking things up.
Yes, you're looking things up. You're all over the place, but it's a lot of fun. And I'll tell you this, it's harder than flying a balloon. I can tell you this.
Well, I'm glad that you're with us, and we've expanded our production team. We've already talked about Windfire Production. Those are the guys that run the cameras, they run the audio, they put the graphics up and all those types of things. But I have another team of the Balloon Fiesta Live volunteers with me. And those are the folks who are kind of keeping track and helping coordinate a lot of other things that are happening here. And I have to tell you, that has taken a huge load off of what I was doing in the years past, where not only am I trying to do all the stuff that we're doing here, but I'd be on the phone and the radio coordinating all these pieces as well. So appreciate those guys helping me out as well.
There is Bob O'Brien in Seed Quill from Wapaka, Wisconsin. And there's Caitlin.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that,
Caitlin, yeah.
Caitlin, no, the
This
little
is
pixie
Salazar.
balloon?
Yep.
I think we're airborne.
We are.
We're airborne.
And
this is Nick taking off from the field, looking back down on the field, up in Cowboy's Dream. And here's a shot of the field. So out where he is where the balloons are already clearing the space. And you see that white fabric, those strips of fabric? They're already starting to set up the target areas out there. I believe that square area is going to be what we'll call the land mass for our Sid Cutter Memorial. You can see it kind of extends over. They're still laying that out. There'll be a big rectangle area. There'll be a couple of angled areas, and then there'll be the boat. And that's going to be, so that's the competition area. They're starting to already set that up. Schedule, excuse me, and there's the X. There's the X.
There's another X across the street.
X over there, and then there's one of those angle areas just down in the lower right-hand corner, just went out of the screen.
I wonder if one day we'll be able to incorporate the cricket pitch into something.
Into something? We might. Yeah. Those are put in May, and there was a national, I think it was a national tournament here. I can see Nick off to the side now.
There's Hunter the Fox.
And there's Nick's balloon, the Cowboy Dream. That's the balloon that has our balloon camera in it. So we'll be getting views of the field and flying.
There we go.
Yeah, looking right back down on the baby T-Rex. Snorkel, the rest of the field there. And now we're looking back up at them.
It's a great shot.
We're looking at you, looking at us, looking at you, looking at us. And from the ground, there's baby T-Rex.
This is Rex Jennings.
In the shadow of another balloon, because the sun is definitely on the field now. That is one of my more favorite special shapes, baby T-Rex.
And probably not as difficult to fly as other ones. I mean, I know the tail and the head may spin you a couple ways, but it seems a little bit more stable.
There's your look back.
That's fantastic. So if you've never flown in a balloon and you're watching us on Balloon Fiesta Live, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube, you're flying today.
You're flying. You are airborne. Going off the south end of the field, getting a little bit to the west.
And I would think before long he's going to hit that level where he's going to start headed kind of northwest over towards Rio Rancho.
Let me see if I can just see him in the. Yep, he's only got a little bit more, and he'll be up in that.
We just got buzzed by one Anthony Polito.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there he goes. I was watching this.
As well as Hunter the Fox went over our heads. There's Gregory Garcia there, right to the right of the American flag.
Oh, Greg.
And the Seasons balloon with a little sunburst on it.
It's like everybody's all of a sudden ready. We're just kind of moving them fast and furious out of here now.
There's his switchback right there, I believe.
Yep. So right off of the southwest corner of the field, looking back, that's Greg Garcia we just talked about, the one with the diamonds coming at him.
Well,
Seasons right below it.
I got a note yesterday from Peter George from the UK flying the Grand Britannia. He told me he was going to come say hello, and he has.
There's Steggy, the Moo Crew balloon in the air. Doug Gant blowing his horn as he flies over the top of us in Hamlet. Oh yeah. I was just gonna say, look at this shot. Wow. Look at all the balloons out there, and that's just a pretty narrow angle. The angle's much wider and much taller, much bigger than we can get in the screen at one point.
There you go.
Yeah.
And this is our mini Maes Ascension.
Yeah, this is. We still got probably 30 or 40 balloons on the field yet to launch, and then once they're out of here, then another 250 or so. They're all out there somewhere at least a mile away, waiting for the 8 o'clock time frame to come along, so that they can launch and attempt to fly back into the field. So just like all of these balloons were here, up and out and away, the others are out and away. They're going to get up and come back in here. And there goes the Sloth. I know that's the favorite balloon of one of our Balloon Fiesta Live team members, Jean-Francois Ferland from Canada, flying the Sloth for us.
Yes, Saint-Jean-sur-le-Joux, Quebec. I believe that's one of the Monahan Airways special shapes, if I'm not mistaken. Todd and Scott Monahan from upstate New York.
Bill Lee has the New Mexico True balloon, New Mexico True being the tourist arm of Visit New Mexico, if you will, the land of enchantment. And as he turns that balloon around a little bit, in fact, you can actually see it there. There's the sugar skull on the side of it. Bill Lee, a great guy, his wife Jennifer. Put on a great balloon rally in Gallup. I love flying in Gallup with those folks.
I don't think I ever told you the first story when I got invited to Gallup. Jennifer sent me out my application and I sent it back to her, and when I showed up at the event, I said, I'm Ted Maes, I'm here to sign in, and she says, I don't have a Ted Maes, I have a Tom Maes.
Oh,
so I've been Tom Maes out in Gallup ever since.
Ever since?
Sorry, Jennifer, for calling you out on that.
He actually puts on a couple of other little rallies around as well. Hey, there's Wiley. Wiley Coyote.
There's that great shot coming from Nick.
Yeah, you can see now Nick's a little farther north because we were down in the corner. Now we're starting to move up the side of the field.
Coming up on the Bosque here in a minute, and he'll cross the river and head towards Rio Rancho. So if you're out in if you're local here and you're out in the Corrales Rio Rancho area, you're going to have about 350 of your best balloon friends at your in a few minutes here.
And it looks like, as I just kind of look out that way, I do see a number of folks kind of flying low. Obviously, when you're low, you're going south, so you're going with the river. So there's some folks out there. There may be some splash and dashes.
There's Little Dog from Brazil, flown by Vladimir Treveria. His 12th year here at Fiesta. That's not a little dog.
No, he is not little.
I have little dogs, and that's not a little dog.
You've got it up there. How big is little?
He's 105,000 cubic feet.
There you go. Yeah. That's a lot of puppy food. Yeah. The good news is it's just hot air puppy food.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's a shot from Nick again.
Yeah, look at the shot. That's what you'd be seeing. If you were up there in a balloon, that's what you'd be looking out at this morning. Really nice. There's Clown, that I always call Olaf.
Because of the identification number.
Yeah.
And Snorkel.
So
we're not sure if Snorkel, but we're calling him Snorkel.
We're calling him Snorkel, yeah. See, you fell into that same deal. It's the N number. That's because what we deal with.
Yes,
registration
number.
In the United States, we've talked about that being the N number, but if you're in other countries, it starts with a different letter. And so he is D. Olaf, D from Germany. Big Hug in the air again today. Big Hug didn't necessarily fly every day in years past, but we've seen him in the air every single day this week. That is just excellent.
And sometimes, Art, it really has to do with whatever pilot is piloting that balloon. Some of them don't feel as confident or comfortable. And again, you're flying at a mile high. It's a lot different reaction time. And that balloon does have some shape to it. So
Yeah, it does.
The way that wind hits it, you know, some pilots are going to feel 100% confident, and others just like to be on the ground, and some people just like they like to be fan hogs, meaning that they like their balloon fans on the ground and people cheering them there.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
This event is at your pilot's discretion. No one is ever forced to fly. I have never been forced to fly, and I'll tell you what, I think that's what makes it such a fun event.
So there goes Snorkel.
Yes.
And Olaf is off as well.
Or Clown. Or Olaf.
Yeah. Well, see, there it is.
Yep.
D. Olaf. So that balloon, in fact, I swear that last year that balloon's name was Olaf.
Yep.
And so, yeah. You can go back and check my spotting app, I guess, from last year and see if we did really call it Olaf. But, yeah, to me, that's Olaf.
Another shot from Nick.
Now you're starting to see there. So now you can see the river down in front of him as we're looking off the other way. All the balloons that have moved out to the west and northwest.
And our viewers online, if you're looking at this, if you look to the top right, if Nick were to climb up another couple hundred feet, he's going to get that north wind that's going to prevail him towards all those other balloons. He may be trying to get down into the river and get us some great shots in that area. You know, it just depends on what the pilot's feeling like up there.
Yep. Thanks. Dylan is our cameraman up in the balloon. Thanks, Steven. So that's part of that full service Windfire production, folks.
Yes, we got Freddie the Fox there and West the Wolf. Ashley Moore is flying West the Wolf.
And look, he's just looking right down at us. So we see it on the screen, but that's pretty much the view we have.
Yep.
Right here
that's
from the rooftop studio.
Cameraman right in front of us, yeah.
Yep. That's worth a picture of him coming in on this right here.
Yeah. And the way the clouds are going against West the Wolf and Mr. Freddie the Fox.
And look, even as he starts to go, he's starting to turn. So he's keeping his eyes on us. And as he flies over Pico, the little peacock gets airborne. Look at the detail in that balloon, and the eyes, and then the nose, and then down to the feet. Andrew Holly flies the little Pico peacock.
There's Little Dog. There's Princess Nellie on the screen.
Kind of the third in that series. There was Nellie and Nellie B, and now we're up to Princess Nellie.
I wonder when King Nellie or Prince Nellie will make their appearance.
Might have to be Prince Neil.
Prince Neil? Oh, that's true.
There's the face shot of the little peacock, Pico.
There's Tall Steve. And right below him, just lifting off the field, next to Pico, is Deb Oskelin, a local pilot from Albuquerque.
She was so thrilled with your shout out the other day, talking about how she purpleized everything.
You know, over the years, my hair's gotten really, really white, so, you know,
You're ready for a purpleization.
You think so?
I think you are.
Well, I'm game
and
if she's game.
And she could do it as
I'm
well.
sure she could.
Yeah.
At least some purple streaks, right?
Well, something like that. You bet. Hey, Mr. Ted, I think it's time for me to get packed up and head down into the competition area. Looks like we've got most of our balloons off the ground from the field here. And we'll head down to competition. We'll bring you the story from down there. So I'm going to let you handle the things up here for a few minutes while I make that transition down the field.
Okay, have fun, stay safe.
And we'll be talking to you from downstairs.
All right, well, while Art makes his way down to the competition field, we'll continue to view and monitor stuff from the rooftop studio up here. There's Sir Mix-a-Lot, the Duke City Ready Mix, new special shape. Again, 105,000 cubic feet just in the mixing part of that hot air balloon. It's a lot of concrete. A lot of concrete, folks. Very cool balloon. I think now would be another good time to let all our viewers see who are out there on Facebook and YouTube how we can give you or give away a Balloon Fiesta Live New Mexico replica license plate. So if I get the guys in the truck to throw that, there we go. Thanks, guys. All you got to do is scan that QR code. It's a one-time entry. Someone had asked before on Facebook and I believe on YouTube, do you have to do it each day? No, just put your name in one time and Art's random number generator will pull up 3 numbers each session and we will send you one of these replica New Mexico Balloon Fiesta Live license plates anywhere in the world. We just had a winner from London, England yesterday, and that will be after Balloon Fiesta is over. We're just a little bit busy over the next couple days here. But again, scan that QR code, get your name in there, and scan to win one of our Balloon Fiesta Live replica New Mexico license plates. So we only have a few more balloons that are here that are taking off right before we get our competition started. You're seeing right there, Frank Boy, with one of the Penguins balloons. There's a shot, a beautiful shot from Nick and our camera crew up there, looking back over the majestic Sandia Mountains with the sun rising over. A great shot of the Roadrunner Coyote balloon with the sun just coming through it. Many thanks to Dylan, our crack camera guy up there in the basket. It's not easy either, because even though he has a little bit bigger of a basket, when you have that backpack and the camera and the pilot in there, and maybe even a passenger, it gets a little bit cramped. I've done that before, and it's not an easy task. And there's a great wide shot from looks like our rooftop studios of looking towards the west, northwest, towards Rio Rancho Corrales. Just fantastic. So again, if you're in the Albuquerque area and you want to see some balloons and maybe even chase some balloons, I used to do that as a child and forced my parents to drive me out there and chase balloons throughout Albuquerque. Your shot's going to be today out there in Rio Rancho and Corrales. They're right over the Rio Grande River. There's Nick, a great shot. And you can see how the box is working. So Nick is actually traveling. He's going a little bit northwest, and the balloons below him are actually making an approach back towards the river with a southeasterly flow. So at different elevations in Albuquerque, we're picking up that Albuquerque box. And as Duncan said earlier, we had mentioned the fact that it looked like the box was kind of shifting to the west, and it had been for about the past 30, 45 minutes. I am now starting to see competitors, which you guys cannot see, coming over us on the rooftop deck, and they are headed very much the similar direction as the balloons off the field, but they started much more east of the field. So they're coming right in over the top of the field, and Art should be seeing them making their approaches in for competition here in the next, I would say, 15, 20 minutes. I know the competition will open at 8 a.m. So we have about another 7 minutes before we're launching balloons off the field, and the launch team down there of Zebras are doing a fantastic job. There's Alicorn, the unicorn. There's Giggles and Grins. That's flown by Nancy Hanks out of Bosque Farms, New Mexico. I've flown with many rallies with Nancy up around the New Mexico, Colorado areas. Sweet lady. And there's Rat Cheese down on the north end of the field. That balloon right there happens to be one of my wife's best friend, Tammy Spring's favorite balloon. She loves that Rat Cheese balloon next to Darth Vader. So you can see the crowd being kind of pushed back behind the competition flagging. There's the Candy House. That's a newer balloon from Brazil. I think it'd be a little bit more difficult to fly a box balloon than it would a round balloon, the way the wind would spin you around. So we're about 6 minutes away from competition starting. And as I mentioned, I've seen some competition balloons flying in already. Looks like they started very much southeast of the field, and they are making their way right now as we speak to the north, and we should start seeing a show. And I know that Art will have a lot of fun down there with the Sid Cutter Memorial that's going to be starting here in a few minutes. There's Rat Cheese again. Flying by Kiko, I'm going to mess this up, Nakarato, in their 11th year from Brazil. There's Sir Mix-a-Lot with Smokey laying there. The new Smokey Bear balloon was unveiled here in Albuquerque on Friday on Albuquerque Loft Day out at Joe Harris Elementary School, home of the Retrievers. And Principal Trent Hefner, an old friend of mine, invited me out to partake in the festivities, and we had a great time out there. So hello, Trent, to you and all of the students at Joe Harris Elementary this morning. Hopefully you're headed to class, and maybe you guys can turn Balloon Fiesta Live on within the class. Another great shot from Nick Abrams and our awesome team getting us these views from above Albuquerque at the 52nd Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, sponsored and powered by ExxonMobil. There's that pylon that Art had been talking about, the 75-foot pylon, and we won't be using that pylon today because that's on the south end of the field, and not unless they continue to fly beyond us after they make their approach. More so, those two northern pylons is what our safety officials will be watching for. And there's Sir Mix-a-Lot. I believe this is only its third flight in Albuquerque, third flight overall, and second flight from Fiesta Field this morning. If you just think about the engineering of these balloons from where they've come, it's just an incredible, incredible undertaking. Back in the day that they would hand cut these panels and sew them together, and now it's all computerized and done that way. But still, to design a balloon that resembles a truck that flies is a pretty amazing feat in my opinion. And there you see a balloon up there on the top right. I think that's Natasha Stanky in Wonder Woman. That's one of the competitor balloons I was talking about earlier. She's been up and they're making their way over to the northeastern portion of the field. We'll drop back down in and we'll start seeing competitors here in a minute. There's one of our remaining zebras giving the thumbs up for one of the final balloons. I'm going to say that that's probably the Rat Cheese balloon from what I'm looking at. And clearing the field, yep, that's exactly which balloon it is. Clearing the field for our day 2 of competition. There goes Rat Cheese. So our field is just about cleared now, ready for day 2 of competition. The Sid Cutter Memorial, I believe, is what we're doing. And we're going to get Art live down there on the middle of the field where all the action will be taking place in just a few minutes here. I just heard in my ear that our assistant balloon meister, Peg Bilson, once again announced that the field will be open for landings out of the scoring area for all of our competitors, I'm assuming, because everybody else that's taken off this morning that are part of our, as I say, mini Maes Ascension, those folks, I don't believe are going to make it back to the field. Those folks are going to be out in Rio Rancho and the Corrales area, at least from what I can tell at this point. So the landings are definitely going to be for the competitors coming back in after they score on the targets. They said the scoring area is going to be opening here in about 11 minutes. So while we sit and wait, I think now is a good time to talk about balloonfiestastuff.com. There you go. So balloonfiestastuff.com, we have a special offer for you if you're out there viewing. If you scan that QR code and it takes you right to balloonfiestastuff.com, you're able to purchase any of the Fiesta sportswear, hats, t-shirts, jackets, sweatshirts, and receive 10% off that order. And of course, you can purchase anything else that's in the store. We have pens, we have calendars. As Art was saying earlier, we have thousands of branded ballooning items, whether it be for this year's event, the 52nd Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil, or generically branded Fiesta material so you can wear year-round. You can find it all at balloonfiestastuff.com. Once you scan that and you go into the shop and put all of the stuff in your shopping cart, please enter in Fiesta24, and any piece of sportswear will receive 10% off. If you're coming to the Albuquerque area or in the Albuquerque area, you can have it placed as a pickup. And if not, we will ship it anywhere in the country and or the world. So again, hit that QR code, receive your 10% off using the Fiesta 24 promotion at balloonfiestastuff.com. So we're only moments away from competition day number 2 at the 52nd Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. We had a wonderful mini Maes Ascension launch this morning. Many of those folks are headed out to the west side of Albuquerque, whether it be Corrales or Rio Rancho. The terminal forecast, or TAF, that they had called for at Double Eagle Airport, where we receive all of our weather information, was calling for light and variable at 3 knots this morning, speeding up to a hefty 5 knots later on. So great conditions for landing out there for all of our people that left the field and putting on a show for everyone on the western side of Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Corrales. You can see a little bit of a wind there coming on Fiesta Field, but that's not uncommon. We get that because we're down in a little bowl. And so sometimes the way the wind tunnels down through Fiesta Field, you'll get a little bit of that bowl. I am now watching several of the competition balloons making their way in, and it looks to me like many of these folks started southeast of the field. So I hear that we're now live down on Main Street. So good morning to everyone on Main Street. You are listening to live coverage from Balloon Fiesta Live. And myself, my name is Ted Maes, along with Art Lloyd Jr., who's down in the scoring area of the competition field. So, Art, what do you see down there?
Good morning, Ted. Good morning, everyone. We have stopped on our way into the center of the competition because we're going to do the Sid Cutter Memorial task today. And there are a number of designated scoring areas. We are right next to what will be considered one of the islands. So this fabric here, the balloon pilots have the opportunity to drop a marker inside this island. There's another one off to the east. And then if we look a little bit farther west, you'll see there's an X. That X is going to be a different target, so there are multiple tasks. We expect multiple baggies to be able to throw today. So you can throw on an X, you can throw on one of these islands, or as we'll show you in just a couple of minutes, the best score today is going to be on the bow of the Sid Cutter boat. So we're going to walk up that way while you continue to give folks the lay of the land here. You might tell them the story of the Sid Cutter Memorial. And we're going to move closer into where the best score is going to be. And we'll be back with you in just a moment.
Thanks, Art. Well, as we let all of those balloons off at our mini Maes Ascension this morning, all of our competitors during that time had driven off-field at least 1 nautical mile. And if you're noticing balloons behind you, facing towards the Sandia Mountains, they all pretty much went to the southeastern part of the city and found a spot to launch from. And they've been in the air for a while now, and they're making their way north, and they're going to make their way south over the targeted area. So if you're on field, the best shot that you'll get is the sun with you behind your back, so you're not shooting into the sun. If you're not into taking pictures, we have some great stands on the western side of the field that you can sit in. But please do not cut through or go through the competition area, the flagging area. That's shut off at this point. So let's make sure that we're ready for the competition. We already have some coming in right now. So again, folks, if you look up to your left and behind you, if you're facing to the west, you see many of the competitors coming in. And as they get closer to the field, we'll go back down on the field to Art Lloyd Jr. to give the play-by-play action right from the targeted area. Here we have our first competitor coming in. It looks like it's Peter Kubicek in the Kubicek balloon. And he's way on the western half of the field. Not sure if he's going to make the targeted area for throwing.
Oh.
Art, I'm going to send it back down to you on the field so you can start the play-by-play because we have a ton of competitors that you're going to start seeing here in a minute. So back to Art Lloyd Jr. in front of all of the action. Art?
Hey, Ted, there's a new wrinkle on the Sid Cutter Memorial. We're standing right at the X, which is the 0 measuring point. But the center of the X is not the perfect score because the perfect score is typically in the Sid Cutter Memorial on the boat. And as you can see that the boat, the closest part of the boat to the center of the X is the bow of the boat. So if you get on the bow, that's going to be as close to the center as you can possibly get. A little farther back in, you get into the boat, that's all okay. If it falls off the boat, that's just like falling into the water. But here's the new wrinkle. So if we swing around and we look the other side of this X, now we've got the Sid Cutter truck out here. And if you land your marker on the truck, that gets scored to the center of the X. So, of course, the best part of that is to get right here in this part of the bed of the truck. If it falls off the truck, it's going to get a penalty of 300 feet added to it. But if it hits the truck, stays on the truck, it's just like being on the boat. So as you come through the truck or the boat, you still have those islands we talked about. And farther out that way is a landmass, nice big area that you can drop your marker in. Really safe score out there, pretty easy to get there as you come across. But, of course, that's a lot farther away from the center of the X than either the truck or the boat. So as you're right, we've already got a whole slew of them coming in. We're going to turn around and take a look, and we're going to try and call that for you and bring you the shot from right here in the center of the Sid Cutter Memorial Task. With the new wrinkle, now we've got a truck in addition to the boat to be able to hit with your marker. Looks like the first one coming across might be Steve Wilkinson in the Cosmic Crisp Apple special shape.
Art, you're exactly right. That's exactly who that is. And he's, looks to me from our vantage point, he's going right over one of the X's. Or a landmass. I guess it's a landmass.
Yep, he's coming right at us. And sometimes we see when you come down the road tends to split you and push you one way or the other. And Steve's got just a little bit of a move to the east. The target is open. They're wiggling the basket to see. So, yep, here just the first couple of minutes in. Go for it. Oh, and over the side. So into the water. Scored to the center of the X plus 300 feet. And we talked about it yesterday, Ted. The balloon is moving at whatever speed it is. And when you throw your marker, the marker continues that speed until gravity takes over and gets it to the ground. So the racer on the far right-hand side, the black and white, and all the other colors going up, he has a passenger drop on the X and wind up and throw his orange marker. Looks to be just outside the island. So already a pass by the racer coming down the west side of the field. And with the targets as close as they are like this, one of, I think, and we saw this yesterday, a good strategy literally is to have your passenger drop one and you as the pilot drop the other one or throw the other one. Coming right in over the field, the blue and white racer with the yellow Freedom and yellow pennants on it. That's Colin McClung from Longview, Texas. Used to live in Albuquerque, moved to Texas about a year ago. Coming in quick.
Hey, and Arden, just a reminder for all you folks that are out on the field, if you're on the south end of the field where the balloons are coming down to land, just be aware of what's there. I'm sure they'd love the help, but make sure you don't get in front of the basket and you're listening to all the direction from the pilot. So just be careful out there if you're on the south end of the field.
So, is the weight off? It fell off. So Colin took advantage out here, and he threw at the truck. It hit the side of the truck, and unfortunately the weighted part of the marker, which counts, actually fell to the ground. Got three racers coming in on us. We got the multicolor with the black checkerboard. Looking for the marker. Lost the orange one. 144. Here's Zarek Wells in guilty. The yellow mustache balloon down. Too soon. It falls short of the boat. Number 86. He's got the orange marker out. Going to go for the truck. It's in the back of the truck. Number 86.
That's Chris Smart in Dream Racer from Roanoke, Indiana. He just threw the marker in the back of the Sid Cutter truck. So that's our first participant to hit the back of the truck thus far.
Said that, I'm not sure who that one was. He couldn't find his orange marker. They have to throw the orange marker on the Sid Cutter task, whether it's the boat or the truck, the island or the landmass. Any other color marker can go on the X's. But you could tell as he was coming in, he's looking in the basket. I said, I could tell he can't find the marker. And I heard him say, I lost my orange marker. And he would have had a great score. Going to have about four racers hit us all at once. One's going to be high, white checkerboard with the pinks, etc. Probably throw high. Then there's another one. Yeah, the orange one. Waiting too long because it's now dropping south. Here comes the color one from up higher. We've got an orange one right here. Yellow one coming down right here. There's the throw. Just outside. Waited just a half a second too long for it to fall outside. Winding up to be able to throw on the X. That's the yellow, the racer with the yellow at the bottom and the rainbow colors in the middle. Coming up next, we've got a yellow, orange, and white racer. And then we'll have the green Greater something Springs behind that. So I think a number of these pilots are going to enjoy the fact that there's both a boat and a truck out here. Look at that. Just nice little, oh no! It fell through the slats. It fell through the The marker goes to the ground. Only the tail is up, and it's the weighted part of the marker that is going to count. So visit Greater Palm Springs, this green one, multi-shades of green with the nice big white eye. Banner number 294. dropped a blue marker out there on the land mass. You want to throw those other color markers on the X. So let's see what 294 does here. There's the orange. And 210 throws an orange both into the water. The red racer off to the side is going to be code red. That's going to be Mark Sullivan. He's going to be too far west to do a good score on the Sid Cutter Memorial, but he's in a good shape to get an X. He's going to try that orange one as well.
Oh, he hit it up on the crown.
Got it caught. So 148. There's a great throw. Just short from 148. The yellow one coming a little bit farther off to the side. That's Dave Eichhorn and Marauder's Mark. He's going to be off to the east.
Art, 148 was Duncan Hernandez in Balloon Maverick from Las Cruces, New Mexico.
You know that I thought that was Duncan. So there's a racer dropping in on the one side. I'm going to keep an eye on Natasha Stanky as well. This is the blue one with the black and white checkerboard. Banner number 31.
That's the
He's
blue
winding
yin yang.
up. He's going for the island with the orange.
That's Bill Bussey. He's been here a couple times from Longview, Texas.
Great shots of him last year on the ring competition. Coming right down the road on us now. This blue and red one with the white arrows, that's Natasha Stanky. She's coming right at the boat. Going to kind of split through there, but she should have a great spot. We'll see what kind of throw she does. Hi, Natasha. Oh, no! 300 again, feet. Just off the side. That's what she gets for talking to me, I guess, right? 207, the yellow one, go off of the west side of the field. Yellow with the chain, dropping, passenger off to the X. Can't quite tell if he made it to the island. The Fidelity Investments balloon, green, way over on the west, to drop there. Next one coming down the center, this kind of spiral teal with the green and the purple. Banner number 137, I believe it is. Going to go right over the top of the truck. Reach out, drop it in the truck.
Nice job to Gary Whitley.
Truck. Nice little toss.
Gary Whitley in Deja Blue just threw one of those markers in the back of the Cutter truck from Columbia, Missouri. Great job, Gary.
209, the racer coming down the west side. 209, the racer coming down the west side. Going to have a great shot at the X that's over there, and he'll be able to hit the island. And then coming down the center of the track is the regular shaped balloon, stair step. We need more cameras out here. Great throw there. Here comes the truck again. Another one in the truck, number 78.
That's Chris Healy, his first year from Goshen, New York.
And here comes it. All right, now we got this Firefly balloon going to come over. It's going to be high. Let's see what they do for the boat. Now. Yeah. There's one of those momentum deals. Waited till he was right over the top of the boat and threw it, and you see it drug about, or had that float about 20 feet or so. So I was trying to give him a subtle hint to drop it. That's one of those things that it's really easy to do from the ground, to be able to say now, and it's difficult to want to, you think it's not going to get there, it's not going to get there. But having been lucky enough to spend time down in the target area, both on Balloon Fiesta Live and earlier in my ballooning career being part of the scoring team, you get to judge. It's much easier to judge from the ground what that momentum is going to do to your baggie. So the racer with the orange, kind of the blue piece coming through, trying to make something move around to get something, but he's got actually a great shot for the island, which isn't a bad deal. Get the white one out and throw that over to the X. There's a nice wing. That looks good on the X. Drop the orange on the and it's in the island, so that's going to be a good score. And I missed his banner number one, maybe 184.
Yes, Art, that's Bruce Wood from Carbondale, Colorado, flying Otter. You have a whole slew of balloons coming at you from the north at this point. So we're going to let you call that down there because I don't think my fingers are fast enough to get on this iPad and get all those names.
So there's a stair-step green one that's, and here comes Pat Irwin in the blue balloon. Yeah, without our camera today, but the blue one up there is Pat Irwin in our Nevada balloon. He's the one who flew our camera yesterday. So today he gets here. What I'm really going to watch as we come through here, one is going to be Sean Spiker as we come over this way. Sean has got the skull on here. He's starting to drift a little bit to the east. But lower, the other shades of green, is Amanda Broadbeck coming in. She is the current two-time women's national champion. She did a great throw on here yesterday. Oh, Sean did get the orange one down into the landmass out there. So took the safe score, which is good because he was a little far away from the boat. But all of a sudden, the wind here on the ground is pushing the balloons to the southeast. So let's see what Amanda opts for. So she puts her orange one right on the edge. We'd have to be close enough to see how that works. But remember, there is an X over on this other side of the field as well. And she's winding up, getting caught in it. Yep. But there's another X in front of her yet. There she goes. Crown line's out of the way this time. Wind up. And let it fly. Not bad from the X. Quickly back here. This looks like either 019 or 119. That's Keith to catch. Mostly blue racer.
That is Keith to catch coming in.
And while we're watching Keith, Lottie Dottie Chicken's coming back over here. As is, I've got 4 balloons coming at us at the same time over here. Sherry White in the white racer just dropped her orange marker in the landmass. Michael here in this yellow one, going to have a great shot at the boat. Little toss, it's in. Good job. Keep the balloon off the ground.
Oh.
Also right behind us here, 202. Off the end, ground touch. That's 202. There's a throw just shy of the boat. Just shy of the boat. Blaser Swisslu, probably David Strassman. Going to come right in over the truck. Boom, right in the truck. Great score there. He's even towards the back of the truck. Remember, we still measure to the center of the X, so the farther in the back of the truck you are, the better your score is going to be. Got a yellow at the bottom, and then getting the darker colors with the green and the black racer, winding up to get his orange out there in the landmass. He appears to be in. They need to keep the basket from touching the ground. So our scoring officials out here are noting those that have hit the ground. There'll be some sort of penalty assessed, typically in the form of additional feet, sometimes a reduction in points. The red at the bottom with the white zigzag and the blue and the orange, that's 528, so 5,280-foot flyer, John Schmitz. Ground contact for John as he was coming in. This yellow one with the pink, I should remember this one, with the pink and teal. Banner 109. Going to come right in over the boat. Oh! Waited just a half a second too long as it drops outside the boat.
Art, that was...
Remember, that's still measured to the center of the X, but because it's... Go ahead.
That was Anthony Haynes, and he was almost there. That's the name of the balloon. Almost there from Houston, Texas.
One of those momentum drops again. And as I was starting to say, it's measured from the center of the X, but because it dropped off the boat, missed the boat, it's technically in the water. See my quote marks. And so 300 feet get added to that measurement from the center of the X. Sane Haas in the red one with the blue and white. She's going to come down the east side of the boat, while Joe Hartzell in the blue one with the black and white and the stars is going to come down the west side of the targets. They're like equal distance apart, and they're coming across together. So I'll keep a... Right. So Sana's throwing for the X on that side. Joe's going for the X first. There's that throw. He might have dropped the orange one earlier. Marissa Myers in the Kachina balloon from Pagosa Springs. She's going to come down the west side of the field. And we'll have about 2 minutes, and then we're going to have another wave. It's really interesting to me how they just keep coming back at us. They just come in these waves. Like Joe and Sana coming down both sides of the target, too, here. We really needed 2 cameras to be able to do a split screen on that.
Art, it appears now that most of the balloons that had waited north of the field are getting that far west, and they're not making that descent earlier to come in right over where you're at. But again, in 5 minutes, it could change here in Albuquerque.
And probably will. All right, here comes the next bunch. Green at the top and the bottom, orange shades in the middle. Going to be followed by the Kubitschek racer. I see Mike King, yellow at the bottom, blue at the top. It could be Windfire and Skip House also coming in the center as well. And even Frankenstein's going to make it here this morning. I like the technique of putting one baggie in your mouth so you know where it is, because you got a hand on the burner, you got a hand on the vent line. What hands do you use for the baggies? Ground contact by the yellow and blue one, but he drops the orange marker in. This Kubitschek racer.
That's banner number 5. That's Daniel Liberti.
22. Oh, 22 throws right over the top. But we've got this one right here. Right here, right here, right here. Oh, yellow to the X.
Ooh,
Yeah. The white one goes to the X, and I thought he had a perfect line for the boat. Here comes Sean Rea in the Sol Air Racer balloon. If I remember correctly, Sean had a great pass on the boat last year, one of the first ones in, and then 3 people came in behind him and actually got closer. I don't know where that one came from. Got even closer to the bow. Sean is number 14, Sol Air. Watch this. Right on the bow of the boat. Great job, Sean.
Nicely done.
Not going to let somebody beat him this time. Number 35, into the truck. And here comes Frankenstein, followed by the yellow racer with the green and black going up the top.
Art, number 35, into the back of the truck was Joe Seymour from Indianola, Iowa, in Joyous Pleasures.
There we are. Frankenstein's in the boat. Number 6, Johnny Petrin, just got in the truck. With that number 6 banner, he was 6th overall last year. So, great job by those guys. I love that drop by Sean Rea. The bow of the boat is actually closer to the center of the X than the farthest back corner of the truck. So while the truck is a really good score, the bow of the boat is even better. Came in, just kind of dropped it down there, and we saw it slide across, but it stayed up there.
Somebody just dropped one from way the heck up there. There it is.
So this is 134 coming down the west side that we have on our camera from here. As we switch over to the yellow and blue and white geometric one. And while those on the west side of the road are going straight south, those on the east side of the road have a little bit of southeast. Orange marker in hand. Don't wait too long.
Waited too long.
Yeah, okay. He did. He did. Can you imagine if they could have a crew member down here who could have the perspective that I do that says, now, drop now, and they'd be, they'd be better on that momentum piece, but.
Well, to be honest with you, Art,
I see Jeff Ashworth way off on the west side.
Flying competition is not as easy as it looks. As you said before, it's multitasking, folks out there. So they're flying the balloon, which is the number one important thing. They're looking at the target, so you don't want to be fixated on the target. And so then you're also moving with the wind, which makes it one more element that's difficult to navigate. So this is not for the easy of faint of heart.
I love listening to you.
Back to you, Art.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. 129 coming in, throwing the orange just off to the side. Just got my yearly hug from Jewel Cutter out here in the Sid Cutter Memorial.
Arts, that's Jimmy Marshall in Morning Glory.
Always great to have her under.
That just made that toss. Banner 129.
Yeah, I see Sunflyer out there. Blue one with the yellow Zia on the side. The Albuquerque Mayor Tim Keller, who likes to tell us that he's part of the balloon crew. That's the balloon that he crews for. And we have this vertical with the little darts in it. He's got his orange marker out. Looks like he might be going for the landmass. Nope, he's past that. Winding up, going to try and get that orange one to the truck. Yes, got a lot of distance, but not enough to get to the truck. Got his color marker out. Going to throw for the X. Remember, 2 different tasks out here. There are X's that you can throw your markers on, and there's his blue or purple marker. That's going to be a good throw on that X. So there'll be scores for getting your marker the closest to the center of the X. And then the Sid Cutter Memorial, which is the boat and the truck, best scores on the bow of the boat. And then, depending on where on the truck or the boat you might be, we also have some land masses. That's the big area to the north of the boat. And we have islands to the south of the boat. If you hit those are great scores. If you're anywhere else in the scoring area out here, we'll still measure from the X, but it'll be a while. So we're going to get a kind of a high drop here, I think, from this one that has the orange at the bottom. Kind of descending fairly quickly. And there came the white one. Yeah, keep putting heat in. We're going to have a touch there. There's the yellow Zia of Sunflyer. That's going to be Robert Bacon flying that. Yellow and blue checkerboard. Going to come right down the west side of the road. He's over the landmass. Pulling on the vent. Again, we're looking for an orange marker on the truck and any other color on the X. Looks like he's going to go for the island. Probably a better choice because he's going to go right over the island. So throw the yellow one. That's going out to the X. Get an orange one out. What happened to your orange one? There it goes. Looks like it may have bounced just outside of it. If they do land their marker on the fabric is what we call hot. The fabric counts. When you get outside the fabric, that's when it doesn't. Next one across, going to be kind of far to the west. Another one of those racer balloons, the more cylindrical balloons. Kind of a stair-step black with the pink and the yellow and the green. Getting their markers out. They're in a great position for the X, little west of the island for the Sid Cutter Memorial. And that looked, through the orange one too. He might have gotten it in there. So we've got a red, white, and blue one that's going to be too far to the west for anything. Cameron Wall with the artwork of his grandmother. He's going to be a little closer in. But I see Dos Equis coming in right down the road. And Ted, isn't Damien flying the Dos Equis balloon?
Yes, Damien Curson from right here in Albuquerque is flying the Dos Equis balloon.
He's one of those leadership management type people that Scott Appleman put in place to kind of keep things running. And so I'm sure an honor for Damien to be flying Dos Equis. The Dos Equis, the balloon that Scott Appleman always flew for us. I remember Scott coming in last year and just missing on his throw. So we'll see what Damien does for Scott and Dos Equis. He's got a great line for the boat right now. Just continues to drift our way. Coming over the landmass. That would have been a safe throw. Go for the higher risk, higher reward. All right, let's see what happens. There's the throw just off the boat.
But a wonderful.
Scott would still be proud.
Yes, what a wonderful track, and like he didn't have any pressure, right, Art? I mean, come on.
I know. With all these people down here in the middle of the target, hollering up, you got this, you got this. This red, white, and blue balloon coming in is Craig Pendleton. Just at the height. Oh, right over the top of the truck.
Art, you have another red, white, and blue balloon right above you
And
there.
another red, white, and blue coming.
Yeah, that's Jeffrey Griego from right here in Albuquerque and American Beauty.
Yeah, I was just going to call it. And so he just dropped his orange marker, and it dropped right into the landmass. From that high, that's a really good, safe throw. Get in for the score. Because you've got this bigger area to be able to pick. That was a good choice by Rodney/Jeff. Oh, no. Banner 175, the blue with the pink and the teal. Through the orange marker, it went up and it hit the envelope and then dropped short of the landmass.
That's Shane Richardson in Wild Thing from Henderson, Nevada. Sorry, Shane.
Trying to get the other marker out. Still, yeah, there he goes. He finally gets the one out for the X and a little ways off.
Hey, Art, if you look up there.
Coming over the crowd line on the east.
Art, if you look up to the north,
Go ahead.
there's John Pata, who really fought hard yesterday to try to get in the field, and he's got a pretty good track from our vantage point right up here on the rooftop studio.
Yes, I was going to point out to the crowd the yellow one with the red and black. He's going to come right over the crowd, but then you're right. John Pata is just higher. He's actually closer over the target than he got to yesterday. Well, there's a marker thrown way over there. I think John Pata's trying to get down here. I see the throat closing up a little bit, so you know there's some heat going out the top of that balloon. This one here. Unfortunately, John's got caught up in the more southeast direction, so he's drifting out over Main Street and Concession Row. But he posted a great view of the field from his vantage point yesterday. He's got an even better view from this morning. And there's his orange marker. So close enough to drop today. We'll see if he throws another one. We don't see if he throws another one on the X. Yep, there's the blue one coming down for the X. Hey, but he's in the scores. Two good markers today from John Pata and Pata Gold. This is going to be Steve Coughing, I believe, with the yellow, black, and orange coming into the northeast corner.
It's going to hurt. Art, indeed, that is Steve Coughing in Plot Twist.
So those of you... He's going to end up right over our spectator line. But he throws his marker, the orange marker, out towards the landmass. He's got his other marker out. Going to try and go for the X.
Art, I believe you're correct. The way that it's almost like the wind is splitting the field. If you look to the west side, they're flowing to the west, right off of the main road that comes down, and then off the right, they're headed to the east.
We talked about this off air, and I've seen this now for multiple years, that when you come over that berm on the far north end, if you are west of the road, you're going to go west, and if you're east of the road, you're most likely going to go east. I don't know if there's a mini thermal, if you will, coming off the asphalt on this road that kind of creates that wall and pushes you one way or the other or not. I'm not sure. This red, white, and black racer, 103, just threw his orange marker kind of in the middle of the field there. Now he's dropping the blue on the X. That's a great score for the X.
That's Brian Taylor in blue ribbon from Columbia, Missouri.
Hey, you know, we have the box working here. We've talked about that all morning. Expected it. It's set up. Everything is good. One of the racers that came by earlier was a solid red one. I didn't get a chance to mention it because he was in a pack of about 4 or 5 others. But I noticed as he came by, even though he had a fairly decent line, I did not see him throw his marker. And now I'm looking up high, and I'm looking out that way, and I see him back up there. So I think he decided to go around and make another pass at this. He's way up there by the blue balloon. It's the blue balloon that says blue on it in white letters. And, of course, they call it orange. But way up and out there, so I think he might be making another pass. I think this is J.J. Mancini and Mr. Sprinkles coming in.
Indeed, that's exactly who it is.
He's going to come right down the east side of the landmass. We'll see if he opts for that or if he decides to take a little more risk and go for a higher reward. He took the safe. He went on the landmass with the orange. And, of course, since JJ's banner number is 12, that means he was 12 overall last year. Interesting decision there. He threw his white marker. I guess he was trying for the X that's part of the Sid Cutter Memorial. He might have had another better shot over there, but hey, you do what you do. Here's the balloon we talked about the other day, ECLYV, big white equator. Going back up, going to probably make another pass. Remac's going to be off to the west side as well. But Eric Greenwood in the Enchanted balloon, yellow with the silhouettes of the state of New Mexico in red. And when it gets close, you'll see that there are different markers for, I think it's Santa Fe, Las Cruces, depending on the map that you see.
Art, that balloon
he was over on the, lined up on the east. Go ahead.
That white equatored balloon is, again, no tiene, so we need to remember that. It's Maria Canabrero from Spain.
And she had a great pass, if I remember right, yesterday. And so she has, she didn't get very far past us here, went up. She's already going back to the north, so she's going to make another pass. Eric Greenwood that we talked about, the yellow one right here with the red silhouette of New Mexico on it, he was over on the east side. He came down over the berm and managed to be on the west, so now he continues to go west. Although, now that I'm continuing to watch, and I'm feeling a little stronger breeze and maybe a little bit more to the southeast. So Eric might be in a great position here. We'll keep an eye on him as he comes through. Looks like he's going to take the safe pass. There's the orange marker. It's out. It's inside the landmass. So again, if you put your marker in that landmass out there, we measure to it. If you're outside all of that, we measure to it and add 300 feet. And we're not watching Eric, but he throws a nice, and that's a decent throw over towards that X. So we still have a number of balloons out there working their way, trying to position their balloon to come in and throw their markers on either the boat or our quote-unquote new truck. So now we have two unique targets out here, as opposed to just the X's and the fabric triangles and that type of activity out here. And my watch has us with about 38 minutes or so left of competition. My watch is not the official timekeeper. Ultra Magic is back in the picture. Saw them make a couple of passes yesterday. Hey, Ted, we're going to walk up here close to the boat and show you Sean Reyes' drop.
That is awfully close to the bow of that boat.
So hopefully you're on us here. Look at that. Here's the bow. This is the best score. There's where it is. And so this point of the boat is 10 feet away from the center of the X. Watch your feet, yeah, but as we back up. So that's going to be the close one. All these that have fallen on the ground, those are ones that are going to get scored to that X with 300 feet in addition to that, because technically we're down here with these in the water. The whole story behind the boat here, of course, it was a competition and you had to get to the boat. If you missed it, you're down in the water and your baggie wasn't even retrieved. And they'll measure these to the weighted part of the baggie, the closest part of that to the X. So Ultra Magic making a pass right over us now. And trying to get some heat in to not do ground contact. That's banner number 138. And they throw their two markers. The orange looks like it went into the island. And the white one did as well. It's going to be scored to the other X. We'll back out of the way here again, sir.
Art, that's another one of our Spanish pilots. Joseph Leandro Costa, Miglada, Barcelona, Spain. That just made that pass and toss in the Ultra Magic balloon.
So the next one coming across is 164. It's kind of got the yellow zigzaggy equator. He's got his orange one out. He's already passed the truck before he gave it a wing. And there's the yellow marker in hand. And he drops that on the island.
That Art is Denny Anderson from Ankeny, Iowa.
So you noticed he was kind of ding-donging or tick-tocking as he came across the field. I think he may have had a little ground contact way out on the north end. Not sure, not saying, but that typically is what happens when you get that rocking motion. You've had ground contact, the basket stops, the envelope keeps moving. Then when the basket leaves the ground, it has to catch up, and it kind of swings past, and it'll swing a little ways back and forth before it finally settles down.
Art, the eagle eyes in the sky say you are 100% correct. There was a little bit of ground contact there.
I love being out here. I love being at Balloon Fiesta with all these balloons and all these people.
So Art
Talking
assistant
about being a kid in a candy store.
Art Assistant Balloon Meister Peg Bilson just said over the radio for all the folks that are out there on the field that non-competition pilots, if there are any out there on the horizon, are able to land on the north side of the field, not the south side. The north side is open for non-competition. So if there's anyone on the north side of the field, same message as what we had for the folks on the south. Please be cognizant of what's going on around you, and please do not get in front of the balloon if you're going to assist to land it. Take all direction from the pilot in command. Let's make this a safe and fun event. So again, north side of the field is open for all non-competitors per Assistant Balloon Meister Peg Bilson.
We might have someone taking advantage of that right now. Not sure if this is a competitor or not. All of our launch instructors out on that section running out there. Thought he was going to land out there, but now there's some more heat in the balloon taking off. The stair step light blue with the dark blue, yellow, and pink.
And that Art is actually
and now headed over towards.
That's actually Eric Kehill in Tropical Twist, first Balloon Fiesta from Meridian, Mississippi, and banner number 024. So definitely a competitor.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe. Well, you know, he's actually saved that direction to the southeast. It's turned more south. So he's going to be on the east side of things. Meanwhile, over on the other side of the field, the yellow one, Tater Tot and Jody Browning, heading off more to the west. So, you know, Jody's about 20 feet higher than the tropical twist balloon. And they're going apart by about 20 or 30 different degrees. There's Jody's throw outside the landmass. And let's see what he does on the X. There's the throw. Looks good from here.
Art, while there's a little lull in the action, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Windfire Productions crew. We have some awesome photographers and camera people out here making sure that they're bringing all of this to you live on Balloon Fiesta Live from the 52nd annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. This team is absolutely 100% phenomenal and professional. And all of you on the field, when you're done at the field, go home and log on to Balloon Fiesta Live so you can rewatch all this great action at Balloon Fiesta Live. Back to you, Art.
Not only from today, but for the last 7 years as well. All week, all of our broadcasts are available on balloonfiesta.com. Look for the Balloon Fiesta Live webpage, and you'll be able to go relive all of this. You could go back and look last year's, and I said this earlier this morning, last year's Sid Cutter Memorial had somewhere on the order of 17 to 20 markers on or in the boat. And so this year we have one on the boat, and was it two inside? Looks like two inside the boat. So more typical day for our Sid Cutter with a few on there, but of course we also have a handful of those on the truck today as well.
So for those of you that joined us yesterday, and we had pilot Pat Irwin taking the Balloon Fiesta Live camera above in the heavenly skies, he didn't quite make it to the field, but Art, I got to let you know, he's about ready to make his second pass. So I think your curse of the camera in the balloon for the live action may be true. So we need to break that somehow. Maybe Lottie Dot Chicken can help us out.
We got to stop talking about that. I don't see him. Where is he? Which direction?
He's dead north of you.
Oh, no, I do see him out there now. I do see him. Yeah. Well, And not too far out there from Pat, just kind of up and off to the left a little bit, the white balloon vertical panels with the red and pink going around, that's EOS and Ralph Kaiser. And last year, Ralph graciously flew a balloon camera for us. And the day he flew the camera, he ended up way east of the field. We still had good shots, but way east of the field and way out north when he landed. And then the very next day on competition, he came in here, flew right over the target, and ended up landing on the field. So, yeah, there is something about carrying that camera. I'm not sure I want to call it a curse. We'll call it something else.
Again, just a reminder, everyone that's out on the field, the north end is open for non-competitors for landing, so please be aware of what's going on out there. And then on the south end of the field, please be aware, because that's where most of the competitors will come in and make their landings after they make their tosses to the competition field. I believe
we've got a couple more that are getting. Go ahead.
I believe, Art, this is that lightened variableness they were calling for on the TAF weather report that we received from the cracked weather team here at Balloon Fiesta, Brad Tiemeyer and team. I know that the winds are a little bit speedier, but you've got some lightened variableness north of the field now that we didn't see probably 5 or 10 minutes ago as the sun continues to warm the ground.
So we have some activity shaping up right here on the north end of the field. The yellow racer with the chain links in the center, that should be Ken Drawn. He was just to the east of the patchwork balloon with the National Park Service banner on it. And he just has now dropped in. And as he's kind of dropped in and started moving to the west, but these guys are kind of jockeying up and down, and sometimes going up and down, even though it doesn't seem like it makes sense, sometimes going up and down will actually help you move left and right. So we're going to watch this National Park balloon. That's the regular size balloon, kind of the patchwork. And you see as we got a little lower, it's still picked up a little bit. Is that 141 maybe?
Yes,
gonna come in right over the boat, or the truck, I'm sorry.
Yes, that's patches flown by
Orange
Terry
marker
Montague.
in hand, there's the throw. Oh, just shy. Just shy.
Yes, Art, that's Terry Montague in patches, their 8th Fiesta from Centralia, Missouri. But still a heck of a toss.
And Ken Drawn's going to drop, I think, the orange. Yeah, number 10, if you verify that's Ken. There's the orange onto the island. And he's going to wind up and get the yellow one out for the X. And then he puts his hand on the vent, so he's going to land right down there in front of you.
That is definitely Ken, and that was a nice toss and a nice approach.
So I think next up is Pat Irwin in the blue balloon with the Nevada logo on it. But we also have a racer out there with the Quavo banner on it. So it's kind of got the green and blue at the bottom and the orange and yellow in the center. Although there's a white and blue zigzag that is higher, that almost seems to be moving to the west. I think things might have just shifted up there about 300 feet. I think they may have shifted.
And again, Art, that's that variability that's setting in as the sun continues to warm the ground here in Albuquerque. That, again, the crack weather team at Fiesta, Brad Tiemeyer and team, basically reported to us earlier this morning.
So that white and blue one, the zigzag's now going to drop in. Pat Irwin's going back up in the more solid blue one. And the Quavo Racer continues to kind of drop dead center. So we can kind of keep our eyes on those two for sure. That red racer that I talked about a while ago that came through has managed to get much farther east. And I'm just kind of looking out there to see who I see. Jeff Ashworth, who was too far west when he came by, he's now back over on the east. So having the advantage of that Albuquerque box, that wind pattern that lets you go back to the north at higher altitude and more to the south at the lower altitudes, gives you that opportunity to just kind of roll around and make another pass. So this blue and white one is lined up nicely, actually. Hopefully he won't get too much east before he gets here. He's got the orange marker out. He's past the landmass, so he's going to go for the boat. A little wind, a little toss, and a little short. 208. Banner 208. And there goes his throw over towards the X. So next in line, this racer with the nice Cuervo banner.
Art, that
They
blue,
got their markers in hand.
Art, that blue and white balloon was Scott Neidling from St. George, Utah. Nice throw, Scott. And I'll let you get this Cuervo one in there, Art.
So orange and white markers in hand. They're past the landmass. Looks like they're going to go for the truck. A little shy of the truck. This is 212. Looking for an X. Where's the X? Off to your right. Off to your right. And there it goes.
And that was Bubbles Up.
You know, you talked a minute ago. We've been talking.
David Hedich.
Oh, yeah, okay.
From Centennial, Colorado.
We've talked earlier. Yeah, we talked earlier about how the you've got all these things going on about flying the balloon, the vent, the this, the that, keeping track of the targets here. What marker do I throw where? And then something inevitably kind of can fall through the cracks. And so it looked like David was kind of looking like, what X? Where's the X that I'm supposed to throw on? And so because we have this big landmass out here, then you come across the truck, the boat with an X between them that we measure to. Then you get just a little farther south, and on either side of the road is an island, and then outside of there is two more X's to be able to throw at. So it's a busy competition field here. Coming in next, mostly black with the patchwork or the crosswalk pattern of the yellow, blue, and greens. Going to be high, although he is dropping. Their banner is, their markers are kind of, there it is, 124. Drops the orange, and it's inside the landmass, so that's going to be a great score. Getting the white one ready for the X. Up now, decided to throw out the back. Here it comes right into the middle of us.
Art, that's Al Appenzeller from Indianola, Iowa. In Tied Together is the name of that balloon. Makes sense with all those colors.
Yeah. And enough heat to avoid the ground. Get outside the actual scoring area and make a landing, and a number of folks there to catch him.
Now, Art, we have a balloon coming in, but I know
Hey,
there.
Ted, what is the...
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you. We're probably going to talk about the same balloon. Tall Steve here. I don't know his banner number, and we're having a conversation about whether he's an actual competitor or not.
He is listed as a competitor, Art. Banner number 288, Jeff Bennett from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
All right. For those who may have not picked up on that, Banner numbers less than 300 are our competitors. So with a 200 banner number, that makes Tall Steve one of our competitors. If the banner number is 300 or higher, they are not registered in our competition. And actually, just to give you the rest of that trivia, 600 numbers are our ride balloons, 700 are our special shapes that are rodeo only. They'll be here on Thursday and Friday. And those in the 0 through 20 are the top 20 finishers from last year. There's the orange marker from Tall Steve, drifts outside of the landmass.
A tall throw from Tall Steve.
Pull the vent line, get ready to throw the white marker. Yeah, definitely. And there's the white marker from high, but not too far off the X. I think this racer, in fact, yes, both of these racers that are going to be next up, the yellow spiral, green and yellow spiral, stair-step spiral, and the multicolor with the black and white stair-steps going out that's flying the, I think that's the RNS sports banner on it. They were here earlier, so they have managed to fly the box, come back around, and are now making a second pass at things. I see at least 3 more behind them that have obviously done the same thing. RNS Motorsports sponsored balloon getting pushed to the west, while the yellow-green stair-step one seems to be coming right down the road.
Art, the RNS balloon is flown by Steve Lombardi from Edgewood, Texas, in his 36th Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil.
So Steve's going to be just a little bit to the west, while this yellow and green one's going to have a nice pass just to the west side of the truck. So it's going to take a little bit of skill on the throw. Lean it out, aim in, and throw. It's in the truck. Looks like it's in there.
Art, you may want to look again.
And there's the toss over to the X. That's okay.
You may want to look again. I think it went right through the back, right near the gas area, if you look again. It still may be on the truck.
Is it in or out? The weighted part did fall down to the ground.
I did see that,
Oh,
yeah.
it did fall through. It did fall through.
I did see that, Art. Our crack camera crew had it right on there for us with Balloon Fiesta Live.
Yeah.
After further.
Oh, yeah, now that I kind of bend down and I look underneath, yes.
Yes, after further review, we did have ground contact.
The marker did, yeah. Yeah, I'm out here with Rita Brennan, who is the chief of scoring for Balloon Fiesta, and one of her able assistants. And they took a close look, and they confirmed for me the weighted part did make it all the way to the ground. That makes for great stories, but it's definitely a heartbreak. I was there. It was in the truck, and it fell through.
I think one time or another,
So we're starting to see that solid red racer.
One time or another, Art, all competitor balloonists have that happen to them. I personally am one of them. More than once.
Yes. If you don't have that, if you don't have one of those stories, you've never flown competition.
Art, that
probably my best score on a competition flight. I was actually a student pilot still, and I'm coming in and I've got a really nice slow, low pass over the X. And I'm actually talking to the scoring officials there, and I come out and I just kind of like set the marker right down there at the center of the X. The scoring officials have said, I didn't know you had your pilot's license. And I said, I don't. I'm still a student. I had my instructor in the basket with me. So then my other story is, as I told it the other day, is coming in on the pole grab. That's when we actually took keys off the top of a pole. And I'm coming in, and I got a perfect line for the pole. And here comes Ray Bear. He's got a perfect line, but they're different lines. And we do a little balloon kiss, and we actually split the pole. So those are my heartbreak stories about getting in competition.
Art, I think you know mine, and it was right down the center Fiesta field, right over the X. Unfortunately, my baggies were in the glove box, and not of the balloon, of the chase vehicle.
So orange, the blue balloon with the word blue on it, very high over the field. We think he dropped off to the side there. But we're going to continue to watch this solid red racer while a little bit high. And you can drop from any of the altitudes. You just have to play the drift of your marker a lot more when you're up higher. So the red racer is number 21.
That's Gary Cass from Yuma,
Arizona.
Arizona.
Quick layer right in there.
Yeah, Gary Cass from Yuma, Arizona in red hot.
I should have
And by the way, Art,
remembered that.
By the way, Art, orange, blue, whatever you like to say, they did throw their marker from way up high. We saw from over here, and let's see, that was Mike Stone from first Fiesta from Boise, Idaho. Nice job, Mike. Even getting back to the field, Art, is sometimes very difficult for most people. So for these people on their first event here in Albuquerque, it's an amazing feat that they're able to make that happen.
And today, probably based on my quick kind of count and paying attention, we've got about 6 to 10 who have actually managed to make that box work for you to kind of roll over. The next one's going to come around is Jeff Ashworth in the New Mexico Tartan balloon, racer balloon. He's got a full-size balloon basically set up the same way. I mentioned earlier, he was well off to the west when he came through the first time. Went up and worked it. I saw him way east, and now he's lined up. I'm also watching my friend Ralph Kaiser, he's playing the box out there. He's not coming all the way over the field. He continues to work the box out on the north end as he tries to line up to come in. And I see 2 or 3 others out there doing the exact same thing. They're playing the box out to the north, working hard to get the line before you commit to come through.
Art, if you look up straight up north, Pat Irwin's going to make another pass one more time. He's playing that box, going to the northeast, and he's probably following Ralph, to be honest with you. That's what a lot of competition pilots do. That's the beauty of being here. You actually are able, especially when the box is working as well as it has today, be able to follow other fellow pilots to the promised land of scoring.
Yeah, we like to call it going to school on other pilots.
And there's no shame in that whatsoever.
Hey, you got to learn from with every opportunity that you have. A lot of people say, well, you learn from the best, and I like to think you learn from it with every opportunity. Because some people are doing things right, and you follow that. Some people are doing things wrong or different, and you say, well, okay, I don't think I really want to do that. So you put all those pieces together. So we continue to watch Jeff Ashworth in the New Mexico Tartan racer balloon. And he just keeps working it here. Little up, little down, little up, little down. Right now, he has got a great line for the boat. We've got a number of scoring officials working on those markers that have already been dropped. And even they're clearing the space here for Jeff to have a clear path. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. Going to come down to his drop. Oh! Nice solid throw, but just outside the boat.
Nice try, Jeff. Nice try. Well, Art, it looks like there's only a limited amount of balloons that are left out there that are going to be able to get in here in the next, again, we're not at the official timers, but 11 or 12 minutes. So we will hang out and see if these guys are able to get in.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm thinking the regular shaped balloon that's over the northeast corner, kind of orange horizontal band towards the lower third, the green kind of at the top. That one would have a chance. There's a stair-step type racer that's still pretty far out north, but with this dropped into it, I think they would make it. But I'm not real sure that anyone else is going to make it here by the 9:30 stop time.
Yeah, I'm sitting up here with Kim Vesley.
What a great morning of competition again here.
I'm sitting up here with Kim Vesley, and she commented, I don't think those guys are going to make it. They're just a bit too far away. So I'm going to school with Kim on this one.
Well, I'm not so sure they're going to make it here either. But, you know, sometimes as soon as us commentators say that, they just kind of drop in and catch that and make the last they make it in at the last second. So possible they'll get here, yes. Probable, no. That's where that's my official position on this.
And you could probably hear it in our
But
microphones.
we'll just kind of hang with it, wait and see.
Yeah, you can probably hear it in microphones. We get a little bit of gustiness over here on the south end of the field, up on the rooftop studios of Balloon Fiesta Live. At the 52nd annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. I hope everybody out here today, online and in person, has had a fantastic day. It started off great. Started with our drone show.
A shot of these guys here.
And then it went on to our mini Maes Ascension, which was spectacular with the sunrise. And this competition has been fast and furious. So we're glad that you came out here. If you're on field and joined us, please, please, please go out on Concession Row when you guys are done onto Main Street and support all of our vendors that have been out here working hard for the past 3 days. And if you're online, we have some special offers for you that we'll talk about when we come back to you online.
So I'm not sure if you have the shot of our scoring officials here, but you can see as they've measured the markers, they roll them up. But you can see the tails as they're rolling them up. They continue to flap in the breeze here a little bit. And if we continue to watch those balloons that were out there, both the two we're kind of still watching are definitely coming closer. The regular shape one seems to have more of a southwest component to it. But again, I think it's possible for them to get here. They're going to have to drop into the faster wind to make that happen fairly quickly. And the scoring officials that will set off the smoke, signaling and showing everybody that this is the end, they're making their way out to the smoke place.
We just got word in our ear there's 7 minutes left until the competition window closes. 7 minutes. Approximately.
Gee, that's what my watch says too. Kind of down to 6.5 as it took you that long to say that, but.
And folks,
So,
if you're out there listening to us down on Main Street, there is a 2-second delay between myself and Art, so this is somewhat challenging at times. So we're doing our best to not over-talk each other, but technology is technology, and to bring you what we can bring you at Balloon Fiesta Live, we're doing the best job we can. Again, we have the best production crew out here, so we appreciate everything that they've done for us and what we're giving to you online and in person. So, Art, I think we're down about 5.5 minutes now.
And you know, earlier when they were coming through in bunches, and there'd be 4, 5, 6 balloons here, and there's 3 or 4 of them thrown at the same time on that, I commented that we needed a second camera down here. I turned around and looked just a few minutes ago. Guess what? Windfire brought a second camera out here. So, yeah. I can't say enough good things about the folks at Windfire Productions. And, you know, the number of people that actually tune into Balloon Fiesta Live the numbers are staggering, and we appreciate every one of you. And we don't necessarily on competition days get a chance to interact much with the comments in the chat rooms. Rest assured that at some point I will look at every one of those comments. It may be a day or two before I get to them. Sometimes I don't get to some of them until after the event. But we certainly appreciate all of your interaction in our chat rooms. And remember, you can watch these anytime, any day, because once the show is done being live, it's archived, it's up on our site, it stays up on our site. You can go back and watch 7 years and 3 days worth of Balloon Fiesta live, and shortly it'll be 4 days.
Art, I'm taking a look at some of the.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at some of the comments from our online people, and you're going to laugh at this one. I just got something, and they said thank you to Tart. So I think that's Ted and Art is what you're trying to get at. So I think we have a new. I think we have a new nickname. It's Tart on Balloon Fiesta Live. Another individual said they live in Corrales. They said thank you for sending us so many balloons. So you're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Yeah, 2 days we've sent them that way.
I think we're
so this regular shaped balloon, again with the orange bands at the bottom, as I'm looking at my watch, he's going to come by us right at the 9:30 mark. I think let's just kind of get on the center of the road and go up that way. We'll get the smoke at us, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think he's going to get here just a little short. Oh, maybe 3 minutes.
3 minutes, just under.
Well, they might just make it. I mean, if he gets close enough, he can hit that landmass.
He could. He could.
I think we're at the point here, Art, where it's hurry up and wait or just hurry up.
Yeah, so we're just talking about that down here. My watch has 2.5 minutes, and that regular shaped balloon, the green with the orange, is probably less than a minute away from being lined up with the landmass, but his direction just turned to the southeast. He'll be here by 9:30. I think the racer will end up being just a little bit short. Yeah, in fact, he's winding up. He's winding up. There's the orange. Just outside. Just outside. And we're going to get a, well, not quite. I was going to say we were going to get a balloon eclipse here.
Well, Art, you have to give them an A for effort. I don't know if you have a banner number for me on that one, but they really worked it to try and get in before the end of the competition closing.
Yeah, I think the basket banner's on the other side. I don't see it from my two sides.
You're exactly right. Yes, I can see it on the right side, so.
And we're positioned here with less than a minute on my watch to see the smoke in the racer, and we'll see just how short the racer is going to be. So our predictions of who was going to make it, we basically were right on all accounts. One made it, one didn't.
Mark, 35 seconds. 30 seconds. They ain't going to make it. But he can land on the field against consolation prize.
Even if we're off just a little bit, he's going to be pretty far to the east.
And I can see on there,
We're actually
Art,
looking at the flags on the berm.
I can see our smoke technicians down there. Dale Patton. I can't make out the other one, but they're with the flight safety crew. Dale's checking his watch.
I thought I saw.
It is now closed. It is
Michael
now
Scott
closed.
going out there with it.
Yes, it is Michael Scott. So the targets are closed for this second day of competition at the 52nd Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. I'm Ted Maes, along with Art Lloyd Jr., and we really thank you guys for hanging out with us on Main Street and online on Balloon Fiesta Live. Art, I'm going to send it back to you for
Can we get a picture, Jewel?
one more minute, I believe.
We're gonna get a picture. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this picture live, because we're live on Balloon Fiesta Live. You don't have to say anything except hi. Okay. This is Jewel Cutter, ladies and gentlemen, and it's just so great to see you out here.
Thank you.
You
It's
bet.
fun to be out here. It's my favorite day of the whole entire year.
Yeah. What
Tell-
a great
tell her hi
competition
for me.
again today.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jewel, for being out here. I'll let you get back to the other folks. Ted May says hi, too, as well. All right, Ted, so we're going to wrap it up here from Balloon Fiesta Park today. I think I'll let you talk a little bit about the schedule. We've gotten our license plate folks out there as well. But a great day of competition here at the Balloon Fiesta, the 52nd Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. And thanks to everybody for tuning in for Balloon Fiesta Live. Thanks for everybody for being out here for Balloon Fiesta Live as well. And I'll let you close it out, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Thanks, Art. Well, as we look at our day, October 9th schedule, we'll start tomorrow with a 5:45 drone show in the morning, followed by a 6 o'clock dawn patrol show, presented by Route 66 Casino and Hotel and RV Resort. Then we will be followed up with a 6:30 Krispy Kreme morning glow, and tomorrow we will have our Flight of Nations Mass Ascension, sponsored by New Mexico True. Also tomorrow at 7:30, we bring back the Fiestas de los Globitos, which is sponsored by the City of Las Vegas, New Mexico. And at 8 o'clock, there will be the chainsaw carving demonstration on the north end of the field as the balloons are taking flight during the Flight of the Nations Mass Ascension. So that's our what's on tap for tomorrow, October 9th, Wednesday. So we had a great day here today. We had an awesome Mass Ascension. We had a great competition. The Albuquerque box was in full effect, so thank you to Brad Tiemeyer and his weather team for setting that up for us. I'll give you all the credit when it works, and I'll give you all the grief when it doesn't. So I want to throw up one more time our license plate giveaway, if we could, please, here at Balloon Fiesta. It's very easy to enter in. We're giving away these Balloon Fiesta replica New Mexico license plates. Just scan that QR code that's there. Scan to win. Art has an auto generator, and he'll pull 3 winners from each session. You do not have to be just from the U.S. You can be anywhere in the world. We'd like to get these out as many places as we can. We're going to give away, again, 3 per session. So scan that QR code and put your name in one time only, please, because we will continue to use the same names throughout the entire event. One more thing as it comes to our Balloon Fiesta apparel and whatnot. So if you guys can throw that up on the screen for me. We have a special offer for everyone at balloonfiestastuff.com. Scan that QR code. It'll take you right there. Everything that you put in your cart that is sportswear, hats, T-shirts, sweatshirts, whatnot, you'll receive 10% off. You can shop for other items. You just won't get the 10% off on those other items. And we can ship it anywhere in the world. If you're coming local to Albuquerque to the event, we can actually hold it for you for pickup. So again, scan that QR code, take you to balloonfiestastuff.com, and you guys will be able to save that 10%. It's a one-time use only, but get in there early now, because it may be gone tomorrow. So it looks like it's going to wrap up today here at Balloon Fiesta Park at the 52nd Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. As promised, we're giving you morning flights, and we're going to give you some glowing nights coming up, because we do have the Glowdios coming up at the end of the week and some other balloon glows. So for Art Lloyd Jr., I'm Ted Maes. So long, everybody.
You've been watching Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. Always in October and always in Albuquerque. This is the 52nd edition of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, the world's premier ballooning event.
Want more balloon action? Visit the archive of Balloon Fiesta live broadcasts at balloonfiesta.com. Thanks for watching Balloon Fiesta Live. This program is a production of AIBF Inc.